wanted to marry the man. Our relationship was too volatile.
Did an alleged assault force her to cash it in?
I returned it to the store, Your Honor.
And you got the full purchase price.
Correct. After I discovered I was going to be out of work for 8 weeks with a broken rib.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Darren Corder is suing his ex-girlfriend, Angela Wilhelmi, for the return of an engagement ring, stolen money, damaged property, and the cost of an airline ticket.
Order. All rise.
It's case number 292 on the calendar in the matter of Corder versus Wilhelmi.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Judge Price has been sworn in. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat, please.
Mr. Corder, how long were you and the defendant together before you took this trip to Costa Rica?
April of 2018.
And when did you take the trip?
September 10th, I believe, of 2018.
There was an incident there, and that happened on what date in September?
Around September 16th or 15th.
Were you both drinking?
Yes.
It sounds as if you were both drinking. Were either one of you arrested in Costa Rica?
No.
You came back, there were orders of protection filed by each of you, is that correct?
That is correct.
I did it first.
I don't care who did it first. There were orders of protection filed by each of you. Did you
Yes.
have a trial?
Yes.
Yes.
Each one of you testified?
We did.
And at the conclusion of the trial, the judge entered an order of protection in favor of each of you for how long?
Lifetime.
Permanent. Nobody could be arrested in Costa Rica because the police wouldn't
Don't tell me the reasons, madam. I'm not interested in your view of what the reason was that nobody was arrested. The judge in the United States, after hearing all of the evidence, after hearing all of the available witnesses, entered a protective order after having to have made a finding based upon the same quantum of evidence that I do here.
Costa Rica was not mentioned, ma'am.
I'm speaking. That each of you either assault, menaced, threatened, or harassed the other. That was a necessary finding that the court made by granting each of you a protective order for lifetime. Do you understand? That's what the law is.
Okay.
So I'm not interested in medical bills, lost wages, pain and suffering, money owed from travel. The only thing that I'm interested in this case, is engagement ring. Period. Because another court, another place has heard all of your evidence with regard to your injuries, all of your evidence with regard to your injuries, all of the evidence with regard to that you had to take a separate plane home, that you had... All I'm interested in this case is engagement ring. You started to date in April of 2018.
Yes, ma'am.
And I want you to tell me when and under what circumstances you bought this engagement ring.
Miss Wilhelmi and I had discussed a month prior to buying the engagement ring and me moving in with her, and also that she couldn't get married for up to 3 years because she is currently still getting spousal maintenance from her husband for $3,800 a month, and she needed that money to help put her kids through college. I said, no problem. We then went to Arizona. We talked about being engaged and married. We went to Arizona on a trip together. During that time, she said, I know where we can get a ring. I said, where? She goes, we can go to the store, which we did go to.
Which store?
It was Costco. She then picked out the engagement ring.
Can I see a picture of the photograph?
The photograph, and then she immediately posted on Facebook right when we got into the car of the ring, and then all the correspondence with the ring.
Okay, so that's clearly an engagement.
Your Honor, it was an apology from him for bad behavior. The man broke up with me multiple times before he gave me that ring.
That's okay.
The night before, we got in an altercation.
I don't care.
He felt
I don't
guilty,
care.
and
I
he
don't
wanted
care.
to give me
Buy
something.
a watch. Buy a watch. Buy flowers. Buy candy.
Your Honor,
don't
he's
buy
very,
us...
very insecure about the industry that I'm in. I am a flight attendant. It made him crazy that I went out and flew overnight trips. Sure that nobody...
It's very, very simple. You don't like him. You went to court with him. You had a trial with him.
When he split my chin and broke my rib, you're absolutely correct. I don't like him.
Very good. Then why in the world would you want to have anything in your possession that reminds you of him, like something that to a 76-year-old person who has had lots of them, engagement rings?
Because he did more than $20,000 in medical damage to me. $20,000. I have $10,000 in dental. He broke my rib. I'm out of work for 8 weeks.
Just a second. So this is your reason for wanting to keep this engagement ring?
Oh, she didn't keep it. Sorry.
that either keep it or sold it, because you don't get much from selling secondhand jewelry.
I returned it to the store, Your Honor. It was on my membership card after I had discovered I was going to be out of work for 8 weeks with a broken rib.
Just a second. Just answer my questions. Don't go and blabber on. You returned it to Costco.
Correct.
And you got the full purchase price.
Correct. I needed to cover my medical damages.
You're not following me, madam. We've been through the fact that you went to court in a jurisdiction in this country, you and the defendant, who was, I assume, and he had a second subsequent filing.
Which he didn't file until October 17th, 5 weeks after I filed.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
And 1 day after the court appearance.
Do you understand how annoying you are?
I do.
I just want to tell you how annoying you are.
Because I'm trying to make clear, Your Honor, I have major medical damages.
It's as clear as a bell to me that a judge who heard your case, which I am not going to do, could have very easily said, I'm dismissing his application for an order of protection. He has failed to demonstrate any need for a protective order. He has failed to demonstrate that you either assaulted, menaced, threatened, or harassed, and they would have dismissed his case. Judge did not do that. Judge said, I'm granting him an order of protection for life against you. You have demonstrated credibly to me, says the judge, that he either assaulted, menaced, threatened, or harassed you. I am granting you
Your
a
Honor,
protective...
you need to see the damage that he's done.
Just a second. I told you that. I told you. Did you present those photographs?
No, I did not.
In another?
Yes, she did.
No, I did not.
I don't believe you.
Absolutely.
I don't believe you. Well, if you didn't, then you were stupid. If you didn't, then you were stupid. And there's nothing that suggests to me that you were stupid.
Our original trial was supposed to be on October 4th. I filed for an order of protection. He was supposed to be in trial on October 4th. He did a continuance because he hired a lawyer. It was then continued out to the 15th. I had to do a continuance, forgive me, the 16th. I had to do a continuance because my witness who had observed him assault me couldn't be there.
Hey, you're not following me, madam. I'm not relitigating.
He wouldn't have had an order of protection if he'd gone to the first court date.
I'm not relitigating the case that was already litigated in another court. That's not what I do here. All I'm interested in is the engagement ring, which you had to return to him. If you sold it, that's the only thing that I'm hearing. If you sold the engagement ring back to Costco and got the money, then you own the money. How much?
$5,972.99.
Your Honor, he had a ring as well. Because it was a gift, his ring to me was a gift. I never wanted to marry the man. Our relationship was too volatile.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,972.92. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
What happened was she assaulted me first on 3 times, even the judge in that case.
We went to Costa Rica. He assaulted me. He broke my rib.
Admitted that she assaulted me first, and then we got into a physical altercation.
He busted me in the chin. I have a scar to show for it.
It had a lot to do with it. She likes to drink a lot, so yes.
No truth to that.
Don't date a flight attendant.
Recognized narcissistic.
All parties in the matter of Payton versus Smith. Step forward.
Vernell Payton is suing his former friend, Jalecia Smith, for vandalizing his home and car.
Mr. Payton, it is your claim that the defendant, who was someone who you dated...
We've been friends. We haven't dated, but we've been friends.
Never anything more than friends?
No, not considered more. We've just been friends.
It is your claim that she vandalized your property?
Yes, ma'am.
You want to be compensated. And Ms. Smith says that she did not. I'm going to ask you because I'm not exactly sure I'm getting the correct information from the plaintiff. Were you and Mr. Payton just friends, or did you date?
If you consider fooling around, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, we were friends.
There was an evening that you came over to his house, and he didn't answer the door. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Do you remember when that was, Miss Smith?
August 29th, I believe.
Of this year? At what time?
Maybe 8 or 9.
Did you have an appointment to see each other?
No.
Was there any reason that you went over there?
I talked to him earlier that day, and he told me he was sick, and I wanted to help him by buying some soup and some medicine for him.
In what context did he tell you he was sick?
That he wasn't feeling well, that he was...
Were you supposed to go someplace?
Oh, no. I took it upon myself to go to...
You can't go, I'm sick?
No, he said that he didn't want any visitors, he didn't feel well.
Okay. He said, don't come over, I don't feel well.
Right.
So what did you do?
Well,
Here.
I'm sorry. I didn't think nothing of it. I went to the store, and that's when I seen him at the store. when I seen him at the grocery store. He looked pretty fine to me.
About what time?
Give or take 8, 9 between the same time I talked to him on the phone. Well, like right after.
Well, you said you went to his house between 8 and 9. What time did you see him in the grocery store?
Well, no, when I seen him at the grocery store, it was almost 10 then.
But you went to his house between 8 and 9.
Between 8 and 9. The store isn't that far from where I live, where he lived.
Well, what happened when you went to his house between 8 and 9? Tell me what happened when you went to his house.
He didn't answer the door, so I just walked away.
Does he have a car?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Was his car there?
His car was there.
Mm-hmm. So that if you knew his car was there, you knew he was there. And it was early in the evening. It was between 8 and 9.
Yes.
So you just left?
I just left.
And where did you go?
I went back home.
When did you go to the store?
I went to the store around, maybe it was almost 10.
Later the same night?
The same night.
So you went to the store later the same night at 10 p.m. and you saw him at the store?
I seen him at the store.
What were you going to the store for?
I was going to the store to get me some groceries.
I thought you were going over to his house because you were going to his house between 8 and 9 because he told you that he wasn't feeling well and he didn't want any visitors, and you said I was going to bring him some soup. So why wouldn't you have gone to the grocery store before you went to his house with the soup?
Well,
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What does that mean? S-H-E-R-M-E-D.
I was drunk.
You were drunk.
That's what that means.
Raise your hand if you did the vandalizing.
I did not do the vandalizing. I was saying that I was explaining that that's what that's supposed to mean, right?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Vernell Payton says his former friend, Jalecia Smith, vandalized his home and car during fits of jealous rage.
He told you that he wasn't feeling well and he didn't want any visitors, and you said I was going to bring him some soup. So why wouldn't you have gone to the grocery store before you went to his house with the soup?
Well, well, I don't really have an answer for that. I just have, all I know is that even though he said not to come, I was still going to come anyway.
Well, were you coming in to check up on him? So they would get rid of the chicken soup excuse. No chicken soup for you. And I assume, Ms. Smith, that when you went there to check up on him, you were going to check up on him to make sure that there were no other women there. I mean, you weren't going there to minister to him because you didn't bring him any chicken soup. So you were going over there to check on him to see what was going on because he blew you off that day. You got there, you saw his car there, he didn't answer the door according to you, and so you went home. Now, Mr. Payton, you say at that time she vandalized your car?
Yes, that evening. I take it.
Okay. And was your car vandalized on the 29th of August?
Yes.
Did you have a police report?
No police report, I didn't.
Why?
Because I just filed a small claims court against opposed to getting the police involved. Because, I mean, I know the 10 years, so I don't want to, I didn't want to have a criminal record up for it. I know.
Well, did you call her after August 28th?
Yes, I did speak to her about it. I mean,
when?
When I noticed the Post-its on my air conditioner, and after which I seen my car.
I'd like to see the Post-its.
Yes, ma'am.
According to you, you came out of your house, you saw Post-its on your air conditioner, according to the complaint. Pay you for it. I ain't asking for forgiveness. I was trimmed out. S-H-R. But that at least let me fix what I did, Payton. That's all, and I'll be out of your life.
Okay.
For God's sake, swear on it. I have all the things that it takes to fix it, what I did. If you don't want to, I know what I did was out of line, and I came to whatever. Okay.
I didn't write that.
Okay. Now, then you went over to your car after you saw these Post-its.
Yes.
And I'd like to see pictures of your car.
Yeah.
I think that phrase means high on synthetic marijuana.
What?
I think that phrase you were talking about
Schmurd?
Means high on synthetic marijuana.
You have your phone?
I do.
Would you?
I don't. Sorry.
Oh, God, I was going to say, look up. What does that mean? S-H-E-R-M-E-D.
Drunk.
Sure.
What does it mean?
I was drunk.
You were drunk?
That's what that means. That's what it's supposed to mean.
Okay, good.
That's what it's supposed to mean.
Raise your hand if you did the vandalizing.
I did not do the vandalizing. I was saying that I was explaining that that's what that's supposed to mean, right? I was explaining that that's supposed to mean.
I got
That's not even cool, dude.
That was really good.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
There's no need for anyone to go back there, so I pay attention who goes back and forth. So as I seen her walk back there, what was she doing? And I just, like she was cleaning the car or something. I couldn't tell, but I know that he knew her, and I didn't think anything of it, and that was it.
That could have been anybody back there. That wasn't me that would walk back there.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Vernell Payton says his former friend, Jalecia Smith, vandalized his home and car during fits of jealous rage.
Okay, can I see estimates to fix the damage to your car?
It's 3 of them, I believe.
3 estimates?
Yes.
It was very nice of you not to call the police. Is this your witness?
Yes, ma'am.
Step up, please. Tell me your last name.
Taylor.
Mr. Taylor, where do you live in relation to the plaintiff?
I live in the same building, right at the end of the building.
Do you remember the 29th of August?
29th of August.
And you know the defendant?
Yes, I do.
From before the 29th of August?
Yes.
You'd seen her before?
Yes,
Tell me about what time you saw her.
It had to be about 9 o'clock, 9-ish, just before 10, I guess.
What was I wearing?
Shh.
And I live at the end, and generally when people walk back to the back where the garages are, I mean, there's no need for anyone to go back there, so I pay attention who goes back and forth. So as I seen her walk back there, what was she doing? And I just, like she was cleaning the car or something. I couldn't tell, but I know that he knew her, and I didn't think anything of it, and that was it.
And did you tell the plaintiff that you had seen her?
I didn't say anything to him until later on. I guess when he found out about his car, then he started asking me then, but I didn't think anything of it because she's back there. I mean, he's his friend.
How much later did you talk to him about the fact
it was
that you
later
saw
on that evening. It was evening-ish when we did talk about it.
That night?
That night.
Did you call the defendant, sir? Did you call her after you saw that your car was vandalized?
Yes, I did.
On what date did you call her?
After noticing the car, after seeing the post-its, and then seeing my car.
Mr. Payton.
Afterwards. Yes, ma'am.
Did you call her that day or the next day?
The day that I noticed my car damaged.
When was that?
The 29th.
It was damaged on the 29th in the evening, so you saw it on the 30th.
Okay, the 30th.
When did you speak to Mr. Taylor?
The evening of the 30th.
And when you spoke to the defendant, what was the conversation that you had with her?
Well, about the damage of the car.
No, tell me.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
And when you spoke to the defendant, what was the conversation that you had with her?
Well, about the damage of the car.
No, tell me what you said to her and what she said to you.
Well, I asked her
You called her.
I asked her about the damage of my car. It was a little bit outlandish, and then she needs to take care of it. She needs to pay for that because, it was outlandish. And she apologized and said that she would pay for it.
What did she say?
Well, she...
Not well. I asked you what she said.
She said that she apologized and that she would pay for it.
So?
So, here we are to making sure she paid for it.
No, well, you got an estimate. You must have called her.
Oh, I told her, yes, I did. I let her know the estimates of the car, how much it would cost for her to... What it would cost for her to take care of the damages to my car.
That could have been anybody back there. That wasn't me that would walk back there.
You said you were back there. You said you were drunk. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,500. We're finished. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Just wanted to get my property completed.
I didn't scratch the car. Sure. I'm sure. Conversation, but...
She did say she would.
She said that I wrote the notes, that I was in the bag. I wasn't even in the bag, but whatever, it is what it is.
We've been friends for 10 years, so, just let life do what it do.
I guess in the end of the day, we're still friends.
He had his gun on his hip, as he always does.
This neighbor says it was to keep others safe.
We had several car break-ins. I was openly carrying, as I'm licensed to carry.
But did he take his crime watch too far?
Her niece said you approached the car with your hand on a gun.
She was on her porch screaming at me about chasing her kids, and I pointed a gun at them.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Edith Sig Reed is suing her neighbor, Richard Gorman Jr., for the cost to move a shed, harassment, and bullying.
Order. All rise.
It's case number 295 on the calendar, the matter of Sig Reed versus Gorman.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Ms. Reed, how long have you lived there?
I've lived there for 4 years, ma'am.
And Mr. Gorman, how long have you lived there?
3 years, sir. Ma'am.
And when, Mr. Gorman, did you become part of the Homeowners Association?
I became a board member in 2016.
Are you still a board member?
No, ma'am.
Were you asked to leave?
I was voted out, ma'am.
Okay. Each of you claim an ongoing course of conduct that is harassing with regard to a shed that you put up on your property that became a bone of contention between the two of you. When did you put up this shed?
It wasn't until about August time frame, but everything was precipitated by when I had to call the police on him because he chased my niece through our cul-de-sac and he had a gun. And she called me. I do have the police statement.
Just a second. When did that happen?
That happened in May of 2016. And
okay. Just 1 second. Mr. Gorman, were you a board member of the Homeowners Association then?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember the incident with regard to Miss Reed's niece?
In detail, yes. And I don't know if it was her niece or not.
Well, she says it was her niece.
Yeah, right.
It was somebody from her house.
Again, didn't know that at the time.
Okay, whatever it was, whether you knew it or not, it was somebody that she knew that was clearly an invited guest of hers.
Correct.
I'd like you to tell me what happened.
So, day before this, there was an installation in their cul-de-sac area. Several of the neighbors in that area were complaining that these bees were problematic because I didn't want to kill the bees. I was waiting for beekeepers to come out and look at them, see if we could rehome them without damaging the tree. And so I was putting caution tape up at night. While I was putting the caution tape up, we had also had several car break-ins. I was openly carrying, as I'm licensed to carry. I had put up some of the caution tape. Car went through the cul-de-sac, extremely slow, parked in front of an area that has no houses in front of it, across from hers, and sat there. I saw some movement inside there, didn't think anything of it, walked home, figuring, okay, this is a little odd that they
I don't care what you were figuring. What time of the evening was that?
It was around 11 o'clock in the evening, ma'am.
Okay, so then you went home.
Correct. I then got in my vehicle, figuring, again,
I don't care what you figure. You went home, you got into your car.
Got in my vehicle.
You got your car, you went back to the cul-de-sac.
Turned into the street, noticed the car was still there, drove around the cul-de-sac. As I was starting to go down towards where the cul-de-sac turns, the car turned its engine on, immediately sped off, made a right at the stop sign, went down towards our pond area.
And?
I continued to follow. As I followed them, I tried to angle my vehicle towards the center of the line, kind of like if you were going to talk to somebody on the opposite side of the street. Rolled down my window. About this time, they blew past me. I went through, picked up the phone, called Bexar County non-emergency to let them know that we had a suspicious vehicle in the neighborhood and asked this individual to not come back if they didn't live there or anything. As I was calling them, they turned down back to the same street. So as soon as they turned, they stopped in front of her house and several people got out of the vehicle. At that point, her husband was out there and she was on her porch screaming at me about chasing her kids, and I pointed a gun at them, on and on and on.
Well, let's stop for a moment. Did the police arrive?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to see the report.
Yes, ma'am. And I'm the one that called the police. I called 911.
When did you call 911?
So my niece was coming home from boot camp, and she was coming to surprise her mom, who was at my house. So when he started up the sidewalk on foot, he had his gun on his hip, as he always does, and he made sure that she saw it.
No. Now listen to me.
Yes, ma'am.
He had his gun on his hip.
Yes, ma'am.
As he was doing what?
Approaching the vehicle.
You mean when it was first spotted in your cul-de-sac?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So your niece called you?
Yes, ma'am.
And you called the police?
Yes, ma'am.
And reported that someone with a gun had approached your niece in a car?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I had never seen him before, and that's why she drove off.
Well, it's clear she called the police.
Correct. I called Bexar County non-emergency.
Just a second. She called the police, not you. Okay.
Well,
she
I mean, according to that report, I called through non-emergency, which is a whole situation.
Listen to me, Mr. Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
She called the police to the police.
She called
at
me
a time.
911.
She made the report about you when you first saw her niece in the car, and her niece said you approached the car, that's what the police report says, with your hand on a gun.
The police report says that? I have the
Yes,
police
it says
report. It does not
complainant
state that.
says male in the area. He drew a firearm and said that he had the right to carry a firearm. Male
Correct.
chased them around the neighborhood. Male is parked in front of complainant's home.
Correct.
Male is in a gray Dodge Charger.
Correct.
Brandished a firearm to the complainant and her nieces. Male kept asking complainant if she wanted to see it. Complainant's husband is outside speaking with the man at this time. Male just displayed the weapon, no disturbance. That's what it says.
Correct.
That's not you calling a non-emergency number. I don't give a rat's behind whether you called a non-emergency number.
Fair enough.
The way you presented it to me, you made the phone call first when, in fact, the plaintiff made the phone call first about your strange behavior.
Incorrect, ma'am.
No, that's not incorrect.
Yes, ma'am. So, Bexar County non-emergency, when you call their non-emergency
listen
number,
to me. I want you to
911 call takes precedence first.
I want you to listen.
I'm listening to you, ma'am.
what I just said to you.
Correct.
And what you said to me, Mr. Gorman.
Correct.
You said to... Do you live... I want you to remember what you said to me. What you said to me was you were putting up some tape.
Caution tape, yes, ma'am.
Don't repeat what I say. I didn't ask you anything. I have a very good memory. You were putting up some tape and you noticed a car sitting opposite the plaintiff's house. You finished putting up the tape and you went back to your house. Now, at that time, you had to walk back to your house, get your car. In between that time, her niece called her from the car and said there is a man with a gun. So evidently, when you saw her sitting in the car, somehow she saw you with your hand on a gun. Then you went and got your car. You came back. She perceived your car and took off. You followed her. You said to me it was at that time that you called a non-emergency number reporting. She had already called the police. According to this. She had already called the police on a suspicious man with a gun.
The call time was 23:41:58 is when they picked up that time. I called them around 23:30, if not before that, reporting that a suspicious vehicle was in the area. However, I had to wait and hold queue before I could talk to anybody because
Mr.
911...
Gorman, you were out of line. It's the same reason they voted you out of the Homeowners Association. All right, now let's move on with... Now I would like to hear about the shed.
So Mr. Gorman and my neighbor directly behind me were complaining on Facebook that I had a shed on the property. I hadn't received permission. It was too large. The roof composition wasn't the same. So the neighbor directly behind me...
Do you have a photograph of your shed?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to take a look at it.
So I was asked to...
Not what you were asked to. You're showing me a picture of your shed.
It's in black and white.
Is there any reason why anybody takes a black and white picture?
Well, I printed it. I apologize. It wasn't... I printed it.
Why? Why didn't you just bring me the picture of the shed?
I left an entire folder. I apologize, ma'am.
Where?
At home.
That's not my problem.
Right. So
Okay.
I have a violation notice here. I was told to get into compliance. The roof composition had to be the same. I hired an individual to come. It was actually a metal roof.
What was it supposed to be?
It was supposed to be the same as my home. So I did that. So then I was told in the violation notice that...
I'd like to see the violation notice.
I was told that I needed to get into compliance and request permission for the shed.
Let me just look at the notice.
Yes, ma'am.
...2017. So this was a year after the original incident with your niece.
Yes, ma'am. However, in between, Mr. Gorman had approached my son at the basketball court, harassing him.
Let's get to the violation.
Okay, so I filed the notice, and it was denied, and they said that I wasn't...
Don't tell me what they said.
Well, the letter.
Show me.
It says that...
Don't tell me what it says. I can read. Okay, so they said that it was not placed 5 feet from either the back property line and the side property line, and that it appears to be greater than 8.5 feet tall, which is not in compliance with their regs. Was that accurate?
No, ma'am. And I also have pictures of, in our community, this one that has a rusty roof.
May I see it?
And these obviously are not 5 feet from the fence.
Well, they all look like nice roofs.
They denied it, saying that I wasn't 5 feet from the fence. None of those are 5 feet.
I don't know. What does your shed look like? Now, you have a picture of everybody else's shed in color.
Yeah.
I would like to see your shed.
I don't have it.
How about Miss Reed?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
It's a very good thing that you were voted out of office.
I disagree.
Oh, I don't think so.
Our
I think that the
community is
people
already
were
being run
probably
into the
very
ground.
smart.
For what?
I don't answer your questions.
Fair enough.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Edith Sig Reed says neighbor Richard Gorman Jr. patrols their subdivision with a gun. She is suing for harassment, bullying, and the cost to remove a shed. Richard is countersuing for harassment.
So they brought an action against you?
Yes, ma'am.
The Homeowners Association?
Yes, ma'am. And Mr. Gorman also was the one in court when the lawyer told me.
Listen to me.
I apologize.
Listen to me.
Yes,
Don't
ma'am.
tell me what the lawyer told you. The Homeowners Association brought a cause of action against you.
Yes, ma'am.
What was the result of that case?
It was dismissed.
And what happened to your shed?
I moved my shed because I was just done.
Yes,
ma'am.
You moved your shed?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you move your shed before or after the case was dismissed?
Before.
How much before?
We went to court in April. I moved it in January. January 12th, exactly.
And it was dismissed in April?
Yes, ma'am.
Because you had moved the shed?
Yes,
ma'am. Okay, so you, as a result of your moving it, they dismissed this case. Am I missing something? Did you
Yes,
have a
ma'am.
trial?
Yes, ma'am.
And the Homeowners Association lost the trial?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have the decision? Is there a written decision on that?
May I correct a few statements that she made before? One of the things that she had stated was I was present for the hearing. I had not been present for any of the HOA
not what I
hearings.
said.
There was only one HOA hearing I was present for, and that was when we were suing our property management company, and I asked for a temporary injunction with the separate counsel. So that was the only time I've ever showed up for court. I did sign an affidavit as president of the association showing that she had been in violation since August and that we followed the Texas Property Code 209
I want to see
sections.
why they dismissed her case.
We agreed.
No, I want to see the court's decision, not what you say, Mr.
Yes, ma'am.
Gorman. I found a little bit of your statement to me previously about what happened with the plaintiff's niece a little disingenuous.
I'm sorry that you feel that way, ma'am.
I do
However,
feel that way.
that's not the way it happened.
I do believe that.
I mean, the police report obviously shows I didn't do anything wrong, or I'd been cited or in handcuffs.
You say the police report shows that you didn't do anything wrong. I don't interpret it that way.
Then why
I
wasn't
don't
I cited?
interpret-
Wasn't I arrested?
I don't interpret what the police officer reported in the police officer's report as you doing nothing wrong. Do you want me to read it to you again?
I've got a copy of it. If it was, and Texas Law Shield had already advised me before the PD even showed up that I'd done nothing
It's
wrong.
a very good thing that you were voted out of office.
I disagree.
Oh, I don't think so.
Our
I think that the
community is
people
already
were
being run
probably
into the
very
ground.
smart.
For what?
I don't answer your questions.
Fair enough.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I see 2 cars in the driveway, 1 car in front. Okay, and?
That violates the parking restrictions that we have in place under the DCCNRs that she agreed to when she signed her
Just a
house.
second, listen to me. I would suggest you move
trying to.
fast as you can.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Edith Sig Reed says neighbor Richard Gorman Jr. harasses her family, claiming he patrols their subdivision with a gun.
May I see the decision of the court? Well, the court granted plaintiff's motion for partial summary judgment, and that all of the defendant, that was you, counterclaims and requests for affirmative relief are dismissed with prejudice. So you were the defendant in this action, but it granted partial summary judgment. Moved the shed
Yes, ma'am.
in January.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So 2 things that you've spoken to me about, which were the 2 most relevant in here, was the incident with your niece that happened in 2016. I've already told Mr. Gorman what my opinion was about that. I think he was overzealous in protecting the neighborhood, and he probably exposed the fact that he was carrying a gun on his hip, and it was frightening. That was 2016. Now we get to the shed. And the only way that I would consider the shed a form of harassment, because there were other people who had sheds that were similar and may not have been compliant, so that you were being singled out, you would have to establish to my satisfaction that the entire Homeowners Association who filed this case against you after a year and a half of being told to move it and not moving it, were in some way conspiring with him to get even with you for something.
It was 3 months, ma'am. And there's only 2 board members.
There's 3.
I didn't ask you a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm telling you what I'm ruling.
Yes, ma'am.
The fact that other people did something wrong and that therefore you could do something wrong never washed with me.
Yes, ma'am.
As a judge. If you know that you're not supposed to build a fence that is certain height, certain distance, and you do it anyway, and you haven't asked permission to do it, that falls is ridiculous. First of all, you do not stand in the shoes of the homeowners association, so you can't sue on their behalf.
Actually, yes, ma'am, I can. In the DCCNRs that she agreed to, it states that under 7.2 enforcement, the declarant or the association or any owner shall have the right to enforce by any proceeding at law or in equity all restrictions, conditions, covenants, reservations, liens, and charges now or hereinafter imposed by the provisions of this declaration, bylaws, and
Sir,
certificate of formation.
Listen to me carefully. The only thing that you said here was that she parks her cars.
Correct.
She parks her cars, and you're in the process of selling your house, and because of that, because she parks her car, it diminishes the value of your house.
Correct. She's in violation
Just a second. That's what you said.
Correct.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
First, you have to show me pictures of her parking in front of the house. Then you're going to have to bring on, I assume one of these people is an expert witness and is prepared to testify that the value of your house is diminished by virtue of the fact that she parks too many cars on the street. First photograph.
There you go. The DC already
photograph.
Yes, ma'am.
I see 2 cars in the driveway, 1 car in front in a legally parked space. The other one, I don't know whether it's a legally parked space, but there looks like a car behind it.
Correct.
Okay, and?
That violates the parking restrictions that we have in place under the DCCNRs that she agreed to when she signed her house.
Just listen to me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know whose cars these are.
Exactly.
Just a second. I don't know whose cars these are.
I do. They're hers.
Just a second. You tell me. The white car has a license plate of RD, and there's one behind it in the street. I don't see a license plate. The one that's on the street.
Correct. And that's the violation in the whole. She's done that multiple times where that car's been parked out in front of her house.
I don't know who that car belongs to, this car.
It would be hers. That's one of the vehicles that was parked out
Your
in front.
case is dismissed, Mr. Gorman. So's hers.
Ma'am,
move. I would suggest you move.
I'm trying to.
Fast as you can.
I've been trying to.
Good.
But this
That's
lady's
good.
affecting
That's
my
not my
property
problem.
Ma'am,
Move.
I've got
You
the
have no case.
DCCNRs
Goodbye.
right here.
All right, is there excuse? You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
The police report clearly defines that nothing happened, or I would have been cited. It would have said something.
He's just a liar, and Judge Judy found that out.
Somebody, and when you turn, if you live in the neighborhood, which she says she did,
she pegged him immediately of how overzealous he was.
Why'd you turn right to go down a dead-end street, then to have to come back? It doesn't make any sense.
And power hungry, and that's why he was voted out.
I hope that they can move on and settle out and understand that I didn't even know who they were until we literally sat down and just talked to them today.
We're actually in the process of moving. As soon as my son leaves for school, we're selling our house.
I would say the way it was portrayed, I was the, negative person, but it's not true. I had done nothing wrong.
And that's it. I'll never purchase a home within an HOA again.
I have no real idea, just that everybody can settle and move on. We can have a happy community.
You and your cousin decided to go into business together.
Their new trucking company.
I was the driver, he was the dispatcher.
Hit a few bumps.
You picked up loads. They were waiting for the loads. You didn't show up. You shut off your phone, according to the customers.
They was threatening and calling the authorities because he wasn't at the proper place.
And did you or did you not get paid on this job?
I did not.
Looks to me as if you weren't a very good deliverer.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Aaron McIntyre for delivery payments, gas money, and truck repairs for a trucking business they co-owned.
Order. All rise.
Case number 204 on the calendar in the matter of Murray versus McIntyre.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat.
Mr. Murray, Mr. McIntyre is your cousin, and you and your cousin decided to go into business together.
That's correct.
And the business was trucking.
That's correct.
You had been in the business before.
Yes, ma'am.
Driving. And you are not in the trucking business. You were a barber?
Yes, ma'am. I just purchased the truck.
Okay, so this was the business arrangement, as I understand it. Mr. McIntyre purchased the truck. He would pay the expenses on the truck. He would take care of all the necessary things that had to do with the ownership of the truck. And your contribution to the business was driving.
Yes, ma'am.
And making deliveries.
Making deliveries.
Very often these were cross-country deliveries. He bought the truck, and this was your first venture?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you were traveling from where to where?
From Simpsonville, South Carolina to the first stop, which was...
What was the first stop and what was the last stop?
LaGrange. The first stop was in LaGrange, Georgia. The last stop was in Alabama.
Okay. And how many stops delivering merchandise?
Right.
How many stops were you supposed to make?
We had 5 stops.
This is what your lawsuit is about. After this first trip, the business didn't work out. He was unhappy with you, and you were unhappy with him. The truck broke down. You had to call your wife to give you a credit card number for expenses because the one you had didn't work. Mr. McIntyre says that you were always late, never on time. A lot of the merchandise was damaged. He didn't make any money. He lost customers. So that's the lawsuit. I have a suit and a counterclaim. Bottom line in this is you entered into a business investment that you're no longer involved with. Fair statement?
Yes, ma'am.
You're suing him for money, not for salary, but for you were supposed to be equal partners. Is that right? What was the breakdown, sir?
I was going to invest the money, he was going to invest his time, so basically, yeah, we're going to split the profits.
That's what I said. You were going to split the profits. So the question is, from the trip that he made, from Georgia to Alabama, 5 stops, I have to know how much money was supposed to be made, sir? Supposed to be made.
Supposed to be made at $6,400.
You have the names of those clients.
Yes.
Correct? I assume you brought them with you.
Yes.
Good. I would like to see them. Well, I have 2 here. One is for $1,350 and one is for $1,500.
I only brought the one that was in question. I didn't bring the other ones that we had a problem with.
So you got some money. Mr. McIntyre, you had problems with these 2.
I did.
But you didn't have problems with the others.
There was only one with 3 loads.
There were 5 stops.
There was 3 loads. Those 2 loads, which went to Coleman, Alabama, then one went to LaGrange. So there was only 3 loads. It was 5 stops because he went, you had to drop off and pick up. That's the way he came up with the 5.
Okay, so there were only 3 jobs.
Yes, ma'am.
So I have 2 here.
You have 2.
One you say that you got paid on.
Yes, ma'am.
How much?
$1,200.
And did you or did you not get paid on this job?
I did not.
Did you or did you not get paid on this job?
Did not. Because of the damage, which I have the evidence of the damage and the pictures.
I'd like to see it. So what you're telling me is that the customers sent you pictures of damage.
Yes. And I also stated that being that it was being so late, they was threatening and calling the authorities because he wasn't at the proper place with their supplies.
Who took these pictures?
The customer did. And if the DOT would have stopped me with that right there.
As if you weren't a very good deliverer. You want to see his evidence?
I would.
I'm going to show it to you. I want you to read the texts and emails. You picked up loads. They were waiting for the loads. You didn't show up. You shut off your phone, according to the customers. They couldn't reach you. They had to use airlines to get merchandise because you weren't there. Put your hand down.
Again, Your Honor, we drove 2,671 miles in a straight truck, which is unheard of in this trucking industry. We had to take a break. DOT laws regulate that we take a break 2,600 miles in those many days. Ma'am, that is a big, big fine. I set the truck down because I didn't have any choice other than to in order to run the load legally.
Your business arrangement with your cousin was that you were going to split profits.
That's correct.
Right now, the only profit that I see so far, and I haven't gotten to his counterclaim, is $1,200 unless you have proof that he got paid from the other people. Based upon that, they weren't paying him for what you did. You weren't an employee. You were a business partner, and you only get paid when he gets paid. And if his customers didn't pay him, didn't pay the business because they were dissatisfied with the service, then you're not entitled to any money. So far, the only money that he says and we haven't gotten to whether or not he had to compensate anybody for damaged property. I don't know whether he did or not. If he didn't, and the only profit from this one run that you did was $1,200, you're entitled to $600. That's what you're entitled to. You're a business partner. And if the only profit was $1,200, that's what it was, $1,200.
Ma'am, as a truck driver, every one of these loads are insured. Now, I don't know whether he has insurance, but every load that we take, every load that you put on a truck has insurance on it. And I don't know why he hadn't presented that evidence, because it is evidence that you have.
I don't know. You present the evidence. You're his business partner.
I was the driver, he was the dispatcher.
Sir, you're going to have to demonstrate to me that he got more than $1,200 in profit because you're his business partner. If you were a trucker making so much money per hour and you worked for 6 straight days, I would pay you on an hourly basis. I would award you wages. Listen to me. I would award you wages, but you were not. You were his business partner. So
here's one of the where he got paid for and what he got paid for, $1,500.
I'd like to see it. Is what you're telling me, that's the same thing that I have here.
From what he got paid from? It didn't say anything about he didn't get paid.
That's just a rate confirmation, Your Honor. That's the rate that they showed me that would have got paid if it was completed.
He said he got paid $1,200 from one customer. The others didn't pay him.
Well, which ones were late then?
I'm going to ask him. Which customers did not pay you?
Those two right there didn't pay.
Okay, these two, the same ones. One of the ones is the same thing.
It's the same. Those are the same people.
No, they're two different people.
Then he has to demonstrate which other load. The only load that was late was Coleman, Alabama.
He doesn't have to demonstrate that at all.
Okay, well, but that was the only load that was late. He's saying that was late. I'm telling you that it wasn't. This is the only load that was late.
You know, I got evidence of me sending him $700 Western Union on top of me paying for all the gas that was in the truck. So on top of that, I'm also losing this money for the gas. On top of I send them $700.
Can I see that, please?
Objection, Your Honor. Your Honor, he came into the yard and got the truck. He took all the receipts, so I don't have any way of him. All the receipts were in the car with my license, which I asked him for. I have text messages where I asked him for my license.
Did he send you $700?
Yes, of course he did. But excuse me, but the fuel cost, the trip was a 2,637-mile trip. You can't go across the street for $700 with that, ma'am. But I have
there's only one person who's in charge of drama here. That's me.
And I apologize.
All I want you to do is show me the receipts for what you paid, because that's going to have to do with what the net profit is. So far, I have $700 that he paid for gas.
These are all the receipts that I have right here. For my Visa cards, for my Discover card.
Okay, was the truck serviced while he was on the road?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
And this truck was serviced for $800?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you pay for that, or did the plaintiff?
She paid for it, and the next morning she came into my barbershop and received the money in her hand. I got a witness from my business partner at my barbershop. He witnessed me give her the $800 plus $90 for gas.
Just a second. Is that witness here?
They told me I couldn't bring but one.
Then what'd you bring her for?
She witnessed the altercation as far as me going to go pick up the truck and him not responding within a couple amount of days.
That's unfortunate, because you can't tell me that somebody witnessed you giving her $800 in cash.
That's fine.
In a moment. And later today.
Where were you?
Due to construction being done, you know,
I don't care if there's construction, a flood, frogs, or whatever.
Right.
Everybody else made it to the brunch except the food.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Ricky Murray says his cousin, Aaron McIntyre, owes for delivery payments, gas money, and truck payments for a trucking company they co-owned.
Okay. Your part of the deal with him was that you were supposed to pay for the truck and all of the expenses. So far, I have between the truck that had to be fixed on the trip that you still have, I assume, or you sold it, and the gas that was spent, he spent $1,315.
That's not true, Your Honor. Those receipts, I got receipts from gas. That was all my receipts from my credit card.
That was the business arrangement. The business arrangement was you were going to pay for all the expenses on the truck, and he was donating his time. That was the arrangement, and any profit thereafter, you were going to split. What you tell me is the profit was all eaten up.
It was.
I buy it. I've read the texts. I've read your dissatisfied customers. That doesn't, Mr. McIntyre, $15 that he spent on gas and truck expenses, because that was supposed to be your job. That was your part of the bargain.
He had my card to do all those things, so he did that on his own.
Very good. $1,315. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I did recoup some of my profits, some of the work that I did on that truck, so she did give me some of my money back. Be careful. Well, because sometimes family members' emotions can get you in trouble.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Darrington versus McKee. Step forward.
Gloria Darrington is suing Chef Michael McKee for breach of contract regarding the catering at her engagement party.
Miss Darrington, you hired a defendant, someone that you knew, as a caterer for your engagement party. You said it was a terrible misadventure, that he didn't perform the contract as agreed. You want your money back. You also want other damages, etc., but you want your money back for the event. Mr. McGee is counterclaiming, and he says that you defamed his business on social media. Mr. McGee, do you advertise your catering on social media?
Yes, I do.
Well, if you advertise on social media, someone is entitled to say that they have been dissatisfied with your service.
I understand that, but it wasn't that case, though.
Well, how long have you known Miss Darrington? Do you think she hired you in order to make trouble for your life?
I mean,
No.
she
hired you. She was having an engagement party, and she wanted somebody who could provide her with the food the best possible way, which is why she hired you. So unless there's some venal reason why you can think of that she would write something, a comment, a negative comment on your business that you advertise on the internet, she's allowed as a customer to do that. That's what it's for. People can comment on whether or not they like your service. And I guarantee you that you're not going to give me a reason why Miss Darrington, after hiring you, bringing guests in for an engagement party, would write anything negative about you unless she believed legitimately that your services were not as promised. We get each other. Perfect.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I don't know anybody that I would use again that showed up 10 minutes before my event. I would say, I may have to use them today. I will never use them again.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Gloria Darrington says Chef Michael McKee botched the caterer, suing for emotional distress, lost wages, and libel.
Now, your engagement party was when?
July 1st, 2018.
And when did you retain the defendant?
I originally reached out to him May 1st, and we...
May what?
2000.
Do you have a written contract with him?
Via text message.
I'd like to see what you are saying is a contract. Yes, you had a contract. You had a contract for $300 and another $250 for your service. Did I read that right?
It was $300 for his service and $250 for his vendors.
The entire cost was what?
Well, $500, excuse me, not $250, $200. $500, but then he took $50 off for his service because of our relationship.
Okay. And you were supposed to be there. You said, good morning, what time do you need to be at the venue? You said 10:15 to 10:30. On the date of the event, sir, at 10:53, which is almost 11, she writes to you, Mike, are you on your way? Where were you?
I was actually at the venue. I mean, she only wanted brunch.
You were supposed to be there between 10:15 and 10:30.
Right.
It's now almost 11 o'clock. You're not there. It's a brunch. Where were you?
There was construction going on.
There was what?
Construction going on the freeway, you know. But prior
Just
to
a
that,
second. What time?
I'm listening. Go ahead.
What time did you get there?
roughly 10:45.
He got there at 11:40, Judge. I have a
May I see
timestamp
it, please?
where he showed up. And nothing prepared.
Just a second. Just shh. No, sir, you showed up at 11:40.
Okay, right at the time.
Walking in with food in
yeah.
coolers.
Right.
Okay, so immediately you're in breach of your contract.
Due to construction being done, you know,
I
couldn't
don't
control
care
it. I
if
couldn't
there's
control that.
construction, a
Right, I understand.
flood,
I understand
frogs,
that.
or whatever.
Right.
Everybody else made it to the brunch except the food. When you're supposed to be at an event, you leave yourself an extra hour, an extra 2 hours. You're supposed to be there. What time is your party called for?
It takes 10 minutes to set up.
What?
10 minutes to set up for what she wanted done, man.
Absolutely not.
Just
10
a
minutes.
second.
That's all it takes, 10 minutes. I've been doing it for 14 years. It doesn't take no hour, actually no hour and a half to set up or something like that. For omelets and waffles.
It was a waffle bar. And he also...
Made to
Mr.
order.
McKee,
Made to order.
Mr. McKee, how old are you?
34 years old.
I've been making parties for longer than you're alive. And when I have a party, and the party is called for 6:30, and I have it catered, the caterers arrive at 4 o'clock or before, just to make sure that they're there. Anybody that I would use again that showed up 10 minutes before my event, nobody. If somebody showed up at 10 minutes to 6 for a 6 o'clock dinner, I would say, I may have to use them today. I will never use them again.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, what time was your event called for?
12 o'clock p.m.
What I want to see from you is you say people had to go out and get their own food.
Absolutely.
I want to see a bill for that.
Well, they didn't have to go get their own food. My witness, Juanita, and my friend Jill ran out to get food from a local grocery store.
I want to see a bill for that.
Okay. This is my friend Jill's bank statement.
No. Don't give me your friend Jill's bank statement.
That's all I have.
It has nothing. At what time did you leave?
Ma'am, I'll be honest with you, I couldn't even tell you what time it was. I left her event. To go replace the food to accommodate her before the loss of the circuits in this building, this venue, once again, that she provided, that kept popping. That's why the food wasn't properly prepared.
What?
I don't know if she brought it up to you, but that's what this really is about. She was embarrassed because her event popping. I couldn't perform with the waffles and the omelets. And to let you know, the venue that we was in was a salon. It wasn't even a banquet hall or anything like that. It was a salon. So it was unsanitized, to be honest with you.
It was an art gallery.
I have proof of that right here in the text messaging that she admitted the circuits were popping right here.
So what? You're supposed to be prepared for that. You're the caterer. Oh, you're a nasty man, actually, Mr. McKee. She's talking to you relatively professionally. She wants to know when she's getting a refund. And your response to her is a male, stupid answer. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $450. We're done. Counterclaims dismissed.
Excuse, you may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I'm a man that speaks with authority, and she didn't like that.
Truth reveals itself.
She's a TV queen, so this is all it's about, to be honest with you.
I was on TV before, but that doesn't have anything to do with a botched catering job.
She had this for her second marriage and go according to how she wanted it through the circus popping. She felt embarrassed.
You get what you pay for.
I haven't gotten to you as to why you bought this furniture.
By that point, we had gotten serious. I moved into his place.
A girlfriend regrets putting money into their...
Fixing up the place because we were building a life together.
Evidently, he's not building so much as you.
After the boyfriend turned out to be a bad investment.
I found out he was cheating. He had been seeing someone else.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Josie Gonzalez is suing her ex-boyfriend, Keith Schneider, for furniture, hotel costs, and dog-sitting expenses.
Order. All rise. It's case number 281 on the calendar in the matter of Gonzalez versus Snyder.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Miss Gonzalez, you and Mr. Snyder have been dating about 2 years?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that right, Mr. Snyder?
Almost 1 year.
Did you ever live together?
No.
When did you decide to move in together?
We never moved in together.
We
there was
did.
never a decision.
No.
I'm sorry.
I didn't say you moved in together, Mr. Snyder.
I'm sorry.
I said, when did you decide to move in together?
We never decided any of that.
Okay.
No, in September. Yeah.
During the course of this 1 year that you were together, Mr. Snyder, were you moving your job from one place to another?
Yes, I accepted.
So
yes.
You decided to move place to Long Beach.
Yes, Palm Springs to Long Beach. I accepted a position
And
in Long
when
Beach.
you and Miss Gonzalez were together, you were in Palm Springs.
Yes, ma'am.
And you were in Palm Springs for a year, together.
Yes, ma'am.
And you had a job opportunity in
Long Beach.
Did you need an apartment in Long Beach?
Yes.
Did you look for an apartment alone, or did
Yes,
Miss Did you look for an apartment alone, or did Miss Gonzalez look with you?
I looked by myself.
She never went with you to look for an apartment.
She never went with me to look for an apartment. She came with me twice when I was working, because I was working back and forth. So she came with me a couple times because
She came with you for work a couple of times.
while I was working, she came and stayed so we could spend some time together.
When she came to stay, where did you stay?
She purchased a hotel.
She stayed at a hotel.
Yeah, she purchased
And where were you staying?
I stayed with her that time.
Those 2 times?
The 2 times she came, yes, I spent.
And other than that, when you came from Palm Springs to Long Beach, you made the commute back and forth each time. In what month and year did you buy furniture?
Can I look at my...
Your Honor.
Yeah, shh. Yeah, you look.
Is it
I asked
okay?
you a question.
Just to get the dates.
What month and year did you buy furniture for your new apartment?
I'm not sure on the exact date.
Okay, good.
But I have
Ms.
this.
Gonzalez, for Mr. Snyder's new apartment.
We had buying furniture together in September 2017. And I did go to Long Beach, yeah.
When was the first time you saw the new apartment that Mr. Snyder was going to rent?
It was in June.
Of 2017?
2017, yes.
And the furniture was purchased in September 2017?
Yes.
May I see the bills for the furniture, please?
Yes. This is when we started everything's itemized.
Okay, let's go through one thing at a time. Mr. Snyder,
yes.
Ms. Gonzalez purchased a television set.
Yes, ma'am.
For $599.61. Do you have that television set?
Yes, that is correct.
Just a second. So you have it?
Yes, ma'am.
Who paid for it?
I paid for it. Josie put it on her credit card, and I paid her back.
I'd like to see where you paid her back the $599.61.
It's right
Just
here.
give me one piece of paper. Bird will take it from you. No, that's a whole bunch of paper. I need one piece of paper for a television.
Okay, here's for the television.
Would you mind telling me what this is?
That's the receipt she gave me.
I want to see that you paid it.
I did pay it.
Show me.
I just gave you the receipt. I paid her cash.
Oh, well, then you paid her cash.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, then you didn't pay her. That's TV, $599.99. TV. Next thing, Platinum Snapshot, $699 and $130. What are those 2 things for?
It's for a sectional couch. It's a Macy's couch.
$699?
Well, that was the balance.
Platinum Snapshot, what is that? Ottoman.
It's the color of the couch.
I see. And those 2 things together were $899?
Yes.
Okay. You have the couch, Mr. Snyder.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have proof that you paid for it?
I don't have a... I
Well,
paid
this
her,
is where you're coming.
I paid her in cash.
That's what you're coming. Do you have for either one of those 2 bills withdrawals from a bank for the cash? No.
Nope, I paid her cash.
What I'm saying to you...
I understand.
There are only a couple of people that I know who keep that much cash around, sir.
Okay.
And you're not one of them. So you would have to take the money out of a bank. I'm more than happy to see on a day before or a day after this, you went and took out $700 and $1,000 in order to pay the plaintiff.
Sure.
If you don't have that, then you have no proof that you paid her.
Yes, ma'am.
And you still have the merchandise.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Sure.
By that point, we had gotten serious, and we were living together. We had an agreement that we were going to...
Just a second. You weren't living together. Where were you living together?
I moved into his place.
To his apartment?
Yes. In Palm
On what
Springs.
date did you move into his
He gave me keys to his place in September of 2017.
Okay, but you still had your business.
Yes.
So you weren't living together. You stayed there.
Yes.
All right, well, that's different from living together.
Yes.
You still had your business that, according to you, you weren't winding down yet in Palm Desert.
No, but my home that I have, it's a rental. I rent out, and our agreement was that we were falling in love, that we were together, that I would stay with him, and we were both staying together. So I started fixing up the place because we were building a life together.
Evidently, he's not building so much as you. Okay, so I have a TV and a sofa and an ottoman. What else? Pillows, decorative pillows, $2.99. Those still there?
Yes.
And this is a computer desk. Do you have a computer desk, Mr. Snyder?
Yes, ma'am.
$185. And this is all in 17?
Yes.
Okay. Now we're approaching 19. What are you doing here?
No, we continue to be together.
Until when?
Until July. I helped him with a move.
Just a second, until July of this year?
Yes, so 2000.
Oh.
Yeah.
With him?
I wanted to, and then I found out he was cheating. He had been seeing someone else after
So
I
the
helped
answer
him.
is you weren't staying together?
No.
Well, when was the last time you were together?
July 18, 2018.
From the time this property was bought, the couch and the TVs, did Mr. Schneider give you any money towards the couch, the TVs, the pillows, anything that you would purchase? Did he give you any money?
Yes, he gave me
Correct. How much money did he give you?
He gave me 2 payments. It was in October. He gave me like a $500 payment. And
Just a second, but don't, this is not, you're in court. Date in October. The amount of the payment.
Hang on, I have it. One payment I know it was in July. It was in October.
You have a whole. Listen, what you're here for, Miss Gonzalez, is
Vengeance.
furniture.
Yes.
You have dog-sitting nonsense. You have other nonsense. But what you're really here for is because you bought the furniture and you say he was supposed to pay for half of it and he didn't. Now you say he did pay you. So with all of that material that you have there, you should have at very easy access the payments that he made towards this debt, because that's the whole case. I don't know what else you have there and all that nonsense, but that's your whole case.
So on September the 29th, $500.
Check or cash?
Cash.
Go ahead.
On March 15, 2018, he gave me $300. Cash.
Okay, so for the 3 items that I've mentioned, he owes you now $865, and that was for the full amount of the furniture, $865. Now let's get to this dog nonsense. The dog nonsense is that while he was moving from Heather and Jan, he left his dog with you.
Yes.
Did the dog stay in your house?
Yes.
All right, you don't get paid for that. That's what you agreed to do. You were building a life together. Fine, so let's get rid of that. What else do we need? Dog sitting, hotel costs. When you went out to see him, you paid for the hotel.
He took the job immediately. He only had a week. So he stayed at Airbnb. So he was paying for like a week at a time till he find an apartment. So we had a plan that I would come up there and help him because he was working 12-hour days, 6 days a week.
What kind of work was he doing?
He's a chef, so he works long hours. So I come up there and help him look, drive around, get apartment numbers, call places. It was an agreement that, you know, we were going to find a place together.
Okay. So far, you have the furniture. You have these 2 choices, Mr.
Yes,
Snyder, with regard to the furniture.
Yes, ma'am.
You can either pay her $865 or she's coming to get the furniture. That's your pleasure.
I've already paid her all the money that
No,
she...
you haven't. Pay her $865 or she comes back
No
for the
problem.
furniture. What's your pleasure?
I'll pay $800. I was attempting to pay this off. I have messages and
Just a
texts
second.
and things like that as well.
Let's make my
but-
life simple.
Yes, ma'am.
Either you pay her the $865 or she
Perfect.
comes to get the furniture.
I'll pay her. I'll give her another
Very good.
$865.
Now you have a counterclaim.
No problem.
Counterclaim says that she harasses you. Well, can't do anything about that. I feel harassed already this morning.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
Your daughter had a contract with the plaintiff.
If I buy a car and it doesn't run, I take it back.
Just a
There was
second.
something wrong with the
Just
dog,
a-
so we went to take it back.
No, listen to me
Yes.
carefully. First go to college, then go to law school, then pass the bar.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Josie Gonzalez says ex-boyfriend Keith Schneider owes for the return of furniture and hotel costs. Keith is countersuing due to an assault and harassment.
Okay, money owed for costs to repair face due to an assault. When did the assault take place?
August 26th, 2017.
Was that the last time you were together?
No.
Just a second. When was the last time you were together?
Beginning of July.
Of 2018?
Yes, ma'am.
So you stayed together for another year?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
And you slept together?
Yes, we
and you
did.
were intimate together? Well,
Yes, ma'am.
that's what we call sort of forgave the assault that happened. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $865. We're finished. Thank you very much.
What about my countersuit?
I just decided it. You weren't paying attention. You were too busy looking at your papers.
I'm trying to give you my evidence.
You weren't paying attention to what I said.
Attention.
I said,
All right.
if you opened up your ears, you
It's
continued
all
to
good.
sleep together
It's
after the
all
assault.
good.
We're done.
Okay. Okie dokie.
Excuse me, step out.
He's getting away with a lot more than just the one couch. He's a total, maneuver. He's just, just not a good person. Very shady. Stay away from shady people.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Long versus Tolson. Step forward.
Joni Long is suing 18-year-old Jessica Tolson and her father, Jason, for the unpaid balance of a puppy, lost wages, gas money, and pain and suffering.
Miss Tolson, I'm going to start with you. Were you the one who answered the ad for a puppy?
No, I posted the ad.
What kind of puppy were you looking for?
I was looking for a border collie or a mixed breed, really. I was focusing on the border collie looking for.
You posted it where?
I posted it on Craigslist.
On what date did you post it?
I posted it in September. I'm not sure of the... Not long. We'd only recently moved in and gotten settled.
Who's we?
My dad and my sisters.
How old are you?
18.
Do you work?
Currently
is not an answer.
No.
Who supports you?
My father.
She's in
Why?
School. She's in school.
I'm a student still.
When you called Miss Long, did she tell you how much they were?
She told me that she had one puppy left for $500.
And what did you say?
I told her...
Be very careful. She said she had one puppy left and the puppy was $500. You said, where are you located?
She was located in Eugene, and I'd asked her if she would accept payments for the puppy.
You asked her that over the phone?
No.
No, that's the... Listen, let's be careful. When you called her and she said the puppy, she had one left and it was $500, what did you say to her on the phone?
We never spoke over the phone.
Spoke to her on?
We started over text message, but we mostly spoke over Messenger on Facebook.
Great. When you went to look at the dog, had you discussed price other than the $500? Because you have that in your text messages.
We discussed making payments, yes.
Before you went to look at the dog?
Yes.
I'd like to see those text messages where you discussed making payments.
Right here.
Okay. So, I have Azul with me. I'm just making sure. This is September 12th. You will be bringing $150 in cash tomorrow, and then another $150 next Thursday, and then $200 the following Thursday, September 27th. And you said, yes, that's correct. So you picked up the dog on the 13th.
Yes.
And you gave her $150.
That's correct.
Did you give her another $150 on the 20th of September?
No, on the 20th of September, I wanted to return the dog. That following week, I said I did not want to make another payment. I wanted her to take the dog back.
Did you have any sort of a written contract where she agreed to take the dog back?
We had no contract at all, no.
Well, you did have a contract. This was your contract.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
This was your contract. Your contract is you get the dog, she gets $500. You could shake your head until today, until everything starts to rattle, but that's it.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Joni Long says, oh, for a border collie puppy.
Okay. Your contract was you were picking up the dog for $500 and you were making 3 payments. You agreed to that. That's the contract. So $150 was due on September 20th, and I would assume that you did not make the third and final payment of $200 on the 27th.
No.
Then you owe her $350 for the
No,
puppy.
I wanted her to take the dog back. She sold me a dog that it was supposed to be a friendly puppy that would get along with my family, a family dog. He was not a family dog. He did not fit in with our family.
Ms. Tolson, I want you to listen to me very carefully. And I don't want your father to look quizzical. I want him to put on his listening ears. Do you work?
She did at the time.
Do you work? I'm talking to you, sir. Do you work?
Yes, I work.
Great. And do you get paid by check or cash?
Check.
And how much do you get paid?
It depends on how much I work.
So you're paid by the hour?
Yes.
Great. Therefore, you have a contract with your boss. And the contract with your boss is that if you work 10 hours and you're paid $25 an hour, then you get paid $250. That's your contract with him. Not whether he feels like he's got a cold or whether he feels as if he's got a bunion. That's your contract. 10 hours, you get $25 an hour. Your daughter had a contract with the plaintiff.
If I buy a car and it doesn't run, I take it back. There was something wrong with the dog, so we went to take it back.
No, listen to me carefully. First go to college, then go to law school, then pass the bar. What I'm telling you is if you go and buy a car, if you buy a new car comes with a contract. And the contract usually contains the words lemon law, so that if you buy a car that is actually a lemon, by definition of the law, you are entitled to your money back. But if you buy a car from somebody who advertises on Craigslist, $850 for a car. You give them $850, they give you the car. There's nothing else in writing. That's the contract. You've bought a car, and if the wheels fall off it as you're driving away, you have no recourse.
Yeah, we asked for a family dog. That wasn't what we got.
She responded to my ad.
That's called puffing. This car was driven by a little old lady to the Piggly Wiggly twice a week, and otherwise it stayed in the garage. Unless that's in a written contract, all you did was buy a car for $850.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Dog breeder that says breeder will take back the dog within 1 week for any reason. Breeder guarantees health of the dog for 30 days. You didn't have that. Your sole contract was in here, which says you give me the puppy.
And she responded to my ad telling me that it was a good family dog, which it wasn't.
You're not understanding me, so I'm going to tell you, stay in school. I just explained that to your father. This was your contract. Your contract is you get the dog, she gets $500. Now, whether you gave the dog away, sold the dog, is not my business. This is your contract. You owe her $350. That's what you owe. You could shake your head until today, until everything starts to rattle. But that's it. $350. We're done. Thank you. Bye.
Wait a minute, ma'am. I also drove to Washington to reclaim the puppy.
$350. And you didn't get the puppy.
Right, but...
Just for my own information. You gave the puppy to somebody else?
Yes.
Sold it. Sold it.
We sold it. We got no money in return for that puppy.
They sold the puppy.
Listen to me.
We have
listen to me.
messages showing
Goodbye. Tape is expensive.
I spent fuel and a full day's off work
on your own
to go claim the puppy.
Told them we didn't have the puppy.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
They had
definitely a little much. Hers definitely was more of a working dog.
I'd like to know that the puppy's okay.
I'll try to get him in contact with the person that has the dog now. The dog has a good home.
When I first met Raven, she was really desperate to find a new housemate.
Former friends have words for each other.
So we had been having issues beforehand, and there's already tension in the house due to Daisha's attitude towards me, or because you were jealous.
But one particular word
No, just a second.
will bring it all to an end.
What did you say?
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
18-year-old Raven Miyamoto is suing her ex-roommate, 20-year-old Daisha Williams, for a loan, moving costs, and a destroyed phone. Daisha is countersuing, also for a destroyed phone.
Order. All rise. It's case number 235 on the calendar in the matter of Miyamoto versus Williams.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Have a seat, please.
Moved into an apartment together. It is your claim that Miss Williams owes you for a loan and also for breaking your phone. Miss Williams says actually she doesn't owe you any money for any loan. The loan, I think, was for rent.
The loan was for rent and bills.
She said she has a defense that's sort of foolish. And she said that you actually broke her phone. So she has a counterclaim. When did the two of you move in together, Miss Williams?
We moved in together February 3rd.
Of this year?
Yes.
Did you move in at the same time?
No, ma'am.
You moved in later?
Yes, ma'am.
How many other young women were living there?
There were about 4 of us.
And what was your rent?
$920 a month.
Was that plus utilities?
Yes, plus utilities.
How much were your utilities approximately each month?
I mean, we're girls, so it always depended on how much the electricity was. So about $20 to $50 a month.
Until what month did you live there?
I still live there currently.
She left?
Yes, ma'am.
What month did you come up short on rent?
The first month that I lived there.
That was in February?
Yes, ma'am.
Where had you been living before?
I stayed in the college dorms.
Now, February is sort of in the middle of a semester, so your dorm room was paid for?
Yes, ma'am. I had to break my lease to move in.
Break your lease at the dorm?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh is not an answer.
Yes,
yes
ma'am.
is an answer. And how much was the rent at the dorm per month?
About $3.
Rent when you moved in?
Raven did.
She wants that money back.
When I first met Raven, she was really desperate to find a new housemate just because she was living with people she barely knew. She was dealing with past traumas and asked me to move in with her.
She's not your mother.
Oh, I know.
Pay your own rent. Did you come up short for the whole month's rent or just for part of it?
I came up short for the whole month's rent.
$920. Now, tell me about the incident with the phone, please.
So we had been having issues beforehand, and there's already tension in the house due to Daisha's attitude towards me.
Okay.
Or because you were jealous.
Whatever it was, you weren't getting along. And?
Both. Okay. And,
just a second. What did you say?
I said both.
Bye. Case is dismissed. We're done.
Your Honor, I have a countersuit.
You're done. You're done. If you don't know where you are, that's your problem. Goodbye.
Oh, there's no excuse. You may step out.
Goodbye.
I have a countersuit. She even slept with my ex to spite me. No. Trust me, if you've seen him, I didn't sleep with him. She told people she wanted to beat me up. The girl that sued me was really problematic, dramatic. I now live in a place by myself. I pray for her every day, and I hope that she does get better.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Terry versus Walters. Step forward.
Michael Terry Sr. is suing for actual and punitive damages for injuring his son.
Mr. Terry, you have a 3-year-old.
Yes, I have a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old.
But you had a 3-year-old who was in the care of the defendant.
Yes, ma'am.
As a
Yes, Your
daycare
Honor.
provider. How long had the 3-year-old, boy or a girl?
Boy.
How long had he been in her care?
Approximately maybe a year and a half.
And there came a time in June of last year that your son was injured while at Miss Walters' home.
Yes, Your Honor.
You have a daycare service in your home?
Yes.
Are you licensed?
Yes.
Are you required to have insurance?
No.
Do you own your home?
Yes.
Do you have homeowner's insurance?
Yes.
The child was injured while in your care. He had his finger smashed in a door.
Correct.
How many children did you have at the time?
8.
Between the ages of what and what?
Between the ages of 2 to 10.
And how many people do you have employed to help you take care of these children?
2 assistants and me on site.
Who were your 2 assistants?
Vanessa Parham and...
How old is Vanessa?
She's 35.
Who's the other person?
She's just another assistant.
How old is she?
55.
Do either of the assistants have children in your daycare?
Yes. Vanessa?
And she's there full-time?
She's there part-time.
So that you don't have 2 full-time people working for you. At most, you have 1.5, so that she can work.
Yes.
Okay. You have to pay for the injuries that Mr. Terry's son sustained while in your care, while you were taking care of 8 children, mostly by yourself. Did he present you with his medical bills?
No.
Did you ask him for his medical bills?
No.
Why not?
Because I know he had Medicaid, and the bills were paid through Medicaid.
Is that correct, Mr. Terry?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor. I have Medicaid.
So that you have no medical bills?
No, I'm not here for the medical bills. I'm here for his injuries, Your Honor. I left my son in her care. And it's like she's minimizing the situation. When I got to her house...
Listen to me. His finger got smashed in a door.
His finger was ripped off, Your Honor. I have photos right here.
Well, you actually didn't say that here. You said that his finger was smashed so that he doesn't have any feeling at the tip of his finger.
Correct, Your Honor.
Right. Mr. Terry, let me ask you a question, sir. You had 2 children in Miss Walters' care. She takes care of 8 children, mostly by herself. Didn't you think that that was too many children for her to watch at one time?
When I first went to her daycare facility, but there wasn't, none of the kids was there.
Well, then that's your problem. If I were to take my children to a daycare facility, all I'm asking you is, sir, the child had an accident. She didn't purposely smash the child's finger in a door, practically all by herself. That's her business, and she should have had insurance, which she didn't have. She had homeowner's insurance, and she should have put this claim through homeowner's insurance. Maybe you would have been able to collect. Maybe. I don't know.
Yes, Your Honor.
I would have certainly required her to pay your medical bills. But then when it comes down to your son's pain and suffering, I assume you went to an attorney.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I assume the attorney said to you, not much I can do because she has no insurance.
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. So then you came here. Now I'm saying to you, from my side, if I were to take my children to a daycare facility or summer camp or an after-school program, I go and see what it's like when it's in full swing. So if you tell me when you went there weren't a lot of kids, you weren't doing your job. Now, I have another question. This incident happened in June of 2017.
Yes,
June
Your Honor.
what?
June 15th.
And do you have custody of your two children?
Yes, Your Honor. Full custody of both of them.
Do you work full-time?
No, Your Honor.
What do you do?
I'm a college student, Your Honor.
How old are you?
I'm 48.
What do you do during the summer if you're a college student?
I'm in school during the summer, Your Honor.
Who took care of the children during the summer of 2017?
Rise and Shine Daycare Facility.
Starting when?
Approximately 3 months after the incident happened.
So you left your children in the plaintiff's care for an additional 3 months?
No, Your Honor.
What did you do with them?
I took care of them. I had to take my kids because no one...
No, Mr. Terry.
Yes.
You said you go to college during the summer. You're 48 years old.
Yes.
I said to you, who took care of your children during the summer of 2017?
I did.
Mr. Terry, you had no medical bills?
No, Your Honor.
You have no case.
Your
We're
Honor,
done.
please,
Thank you.
May I present my evidence?
I'm just telling you, he had an accident in the daycare facility. If you
But,
had
Your Honor-
medical bill, listen to me.
Yes,
if
ma'am.
you had medical bills, I would have taken care of your medical bills. You had no medical bills. You have no case. I'm
Your Honor,
dismissing
may I
it. Goodbye.
Please, could you please give me a second, Your Honor, to present my case, Your Honor?
I just did.
Why is that excused? You may step out.
My son's 3 years old, Your Honor. He didn't actually get hurt.
He got medical attention, and he was fine after that.
He has no feeling in the tip of his finger now.
I don't know what his real motivation is.
Make sure you find a daycare facility that has license and insured.
I'm glad his kid is fine.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Chavez versus Norfolk Watson. Step forward.
Regina Chavez is suing her former tenants, Ralstina Norfort and her fiancé, Verdell Watson, for damage to her house caused by their family.
Ms. Chavez, you rented a home to the defendants who were tenants of yours for 5 years.
That's correct.
When they moved in, how many people moved in 5 years ago?
It were 2 children.
And what was their rent?
$800 when they moved in.
And what was it at the end of the lease?
$850.
And how many rooms is it?
It's three bedrooms, 3 full baths.
When they moved out, it is your claim that the place was a disaster, and you're suing them for $4,900. They have a sort of silly counterclaim for repairs that they were forced to make to the house that you didn't make. If you made the repairs, you don't have a contract with her. So if you made repairs for $300 over the course of 5 years, you made repairs. I don't care. Neither does the law. Did you take a security deposit from the defendants when they moved in?
I did, $800.
Did you return it to them?
No, I did not.
Now, let's get rid of one item that's a large item. Your last name is Watson?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Watson, one of the 3 toilets was not flushing properly in the house.
Yes, ma'am.
In what month and year was that?
Maybe about like 5 months ago, 6 months, I think.
And was that in one of the children's rooms or your room?
The children's room.
So somebody stopped the toilet in that room?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened.
In the children's room, though?
In the children's bathroom, yes.
You know, they throw things down the toilet.
Yes.
It's fun. And you tried to fix it?
Yes, ma'am.
You took apart the toilet?
Yes, I did. I took it up.
And you didn't fix it?
No, I didn't put it.
Where's the toilet?
The toilet drained out.
So why didn't you put it back together?
Because I didn't have the money to buy some of the stuff that was needed to fix it. I also stated to the...
Just a second. What have the children thrown down the drain?
It was a small toy.
So you broke... You, when I say you, I don't mean you. I mean your family broke the toilet. Yes.
Yeah.
You have to pay for that.
Well, I said something to the landlord about it. Nobody never came.
Just a second. Well, you took it apart and you found out that your family had damaged the toilet.
Yes, ma'am.
So you fix it. Doesn't that sound logical? Why
Yeah,
should she fix it?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You damaged the plaintiff's property. You're not entitled to have her fix it for nothing. So you broke it. You fix it. That's life. That's responsibility. You break it, you fix it.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Regina Chavez says former tenants Ralstina Norfort and fiancé Verdell Watson owe for damages to her house. The couple is countersuing for repairs they made to the home.
Now, she didn't throw a toy down the toilet.
Well, in the lease, they have a handyman that comes and fixes it. If something got messed up, I wouldn't be accounted for it. I said what I...
Well, show me that in the lease where it says if you damage something in the house, you're not responsible. I would like to see that in any standard lease, that if the tenant damages property, that the landlord is responsible for it.
Well, usually they have a handyman come and fix things.
I don't care what usually. Listen, Mr. Watson, it's not a big deal. It's just that what you're supposed to do is take responsibility for something. You damaged the plaintiff's property. Your children damaged the plaintiff's property. You're not entitled to have her fix it for nothing. You have to bear the expense of fixing it. Now, if the toilet, because it was defective, broke down, then it would be her responsibility as the landlord to fix it. But you took it apart probably because one of the kids said to you, the toy went down there.
Yeah, it was overflowing, things like that.
Right. So you broke it. You fix it. That's life. That's responsibility. You break it, you fix it. How much did it cost you to fix the toilet?
We have not fixed it yet.
Well, that's a problem. I'm not a guesser. So we have $0 for the toilet. Well, now, what other damage? $0. If you haven't fixed it, and I assume you don't have a plumber's estimate for fixing it.
I do. I have an estimate for fixing everything.
No, I'm not interested in fixing everything. I'm interested in a plumber's estimate.
And it includes all of the damages. I'm suing for the damages. Total.
Listen to me. Damage to the toilet. You don't have it. It's $0.
Okay.
Now, what other damage are you alleging that the defendants or their children caused to your property?
Okay. They have a pit bull.
And?
The dog has chewed the door.
Chewed the door. Show me a photograph.
The banisters.
Show me a photograph door.
The dog has chewed carpet.
Oh, no, listen to me, Miss Chavez. We're not getting along, you and I. I need a photograph of the door that you allege was damaged by the defendant's dog.
I have it in my phone. I don't have the printed picture. Can I find it in my phone?
Absolutely. May I see it? Bird. I touched something, you know. Touch it. Would you show that to the defendants for me, please?
You see it?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So your dog chewed the door?
Yes.
Okay, you have to pay for that.
There's several doors. Several.
Just a second. Pictures.
They're in the phone.
I got it.
You want to see it?
How many more?
2 more. And there's carpet.
Other than the doors?
There's trash that's left in the garage.
And that's the banister. Well, the banister where the dog chewed it up.
God.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Now, you finally got rid of the dog. Why?
Just didn't want the dog no more. So we just got rid of it.
What did you do with it?
Gave it to the animal shelter.
You better hold on to his interest.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Regina Chavez says former tenants Ralstina Norfort and fiancé Verdell Watson owe for damage to her house. The couple is countersuing for repairs they made to the home.
Now, what else?
There's doors broken off of the hinges.
In addition to the doors that the dog broke?
Yes.
And
I'd
like to see pictures
tile
of that.
That's destroyed. There's items that were left.
I don't care about the items that were left. I saw the banister. Your dog chewed the banister, corner of the banister?
Used to tile.
Oh, what's wrong with you?
Well, I didn't let her chew it. I didn't tell her go chew it.
Well, but you saw her, if you saw the dog chewing it once,
I
Mr.
stopped
Watson,
her.
if you saw the dog chewing one door, so you know the dog had that propensity, it's not funny. It's somebody else's property. Then what you do is you either isolate the dog or get rid of the dog.
Yes,
but you don't allow the dog to continue to damage somebody else's property and then say, the hell with it. It doesn't belong to me anyway, and I'm moving.
Well, once we noticed the damage, we did isolate and get rid of the dog.
Well, you waited a very long time until the dog had actually done a great deal of damage to the house. That's not fair.
This is over like a 4-year span of being in the house with this dog.
I don't care. Now, you finally got rid of the dog. Why?
Just didn't want the dog no more. Kids weren't interested in the dog anymore. So we just got rid of it.
What did you do with it?
Gave it to the animal shelter.
How old was the dog when you got it?
She was a puppy.
About a couple months.
You better hold on to his interest. Now I'll see what your handyman proposes it's going to take to... They're not paying to have the carpet replaced. Can you explain to me why you have 3 toilets listed here?
Because all 3 of them are damaged.
This is your handyman?
Yes.
You pay him on an annual basis?
Well, he does the work that we need.
That's my question. Do you pay him on an annual basis?
No.
Or you pay him per job?
Per job.
Got it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, 3 door frames, $540 that they're responsible for. $1,200 for walls painted. You have to paint the walls anyway. Banister repaired, $200. Countertop replaced. What about the countertop?
There's burns on the countertops.
Let me see it.
Burns here. And you can't just fix one little part. You have to replace the whole thing.
Okay, I've added up everything on your handyman's list with the exception of carpets. You pay for them, and with the exception of painting. That comes to $1,805. And you retain their security deposit?
Correct.
They owe you $1,000. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done. Thank you.
Why is Judge Judy? Can they step out?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
She was fair.
Just an unfortunate situation.
The only time we did not take care of any repairs were when they owed us rent and they didn't call us.
We were there for over 4 years. It's just normal wear and tear.
I'll never do this again.
You know how sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't.
A single mom with a history of repossession.
Your stepfather said if you want to take over the payments of this car that I recently bought.
And history keeps repeating itself.
You've driven the car January, February, and March and made 1 payment.
I was also helping my stepdad get to work, so there has to be some form of compensation.
There's a reason you got your last car repossessed. You got this car repossessed because you didn't make the payments. There's a trend here.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Epiphany Austin is suing her stepfather, Willie Sanders, for costs, plus punitive damages for a false police report.
Order. All rise. This is case number 215 on the calendar in the matter of Austin versus Sanders.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, huh?
Miss Austin, Mr. Sanders is your stepfather.
Correct, ma'am.
This is your mom?
Correct.
How old are you?
I'm 31.
There came a time when you needed a car, and your stepfather told you that if you wanted to, you could take over the payments on his 2007 Lexus. Is that what it was? That you would purchase when, sir?
September 1st, 2017.
And when did you make this offer to your stepdaughter?
Sometime in October of 2017.
Had you had a car before that?
Your Honor, no, I had not had a car.
You had had a car?
The majority of 2017.
I'm talking about ever.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Cars that you purchased?
Absolutely, yes.
Did you make payments on those cars?
I did.
Give me an idea of what you made in payments on those cars.
Maybe like $300 to maybe $400 in payments.
Were any of those cars repossessed?
Yes.
How many of them were repossessed?
One of them.
And when was that car repossessed?
April of 2017, I believe.
And it was repossessed because you weren't making the payments on it.
That's correct.
Why weren't you making the payments on it?
It's to me with making payments. Once him and I broke up, he stopped making payments for her altogether. So I took on full ownership as a single mother. And once I had on that bulk of responsibility, I couldn't make that high payment any longer.
And what was that car payment?
That car payment was like $450.
So you really needed a car.
That entire year, I definitely needed a car.
Great.
Absolutely.
So in October, your stepfather said, if you want to take over the payments of this car that I recently bought, it's an older car, it's 10 years old. How much were the car payments on that car?
I made approximately $400 in payments to him a month.
$400 to him or to the bank?
The loan was in his name, so even though I may go up there and make it on his behalf, it still was under his.
I'm asking you whether you made the payments to him or whether you made the payments to the bank when you were driving the car.
I've made them to the bank. I've actually walked to the loan company or mailed them. Correct.
And you got the car in November?
I did.
And the payments were $400 a month, sir?
$371.
So about $80 less than what you were paying on the $450 car that was repossessed.
Correct.
And you got the car in November.
Correct.
So did you make December's car payment?
I did not make December's car payment to the bank.
Did you pay in January?
I did not.
Did you pay in February?
I did.
How much?
$400.
Did you pay? What does that mean?
In April, I actually made a payment for March, April, and May.
No. Follow where I'm going. In March, did you or did you not make a payment in March?
Not in March.
So now you've driven the car December, January, February, and March, and made one payment in February.
That is correct, as far as payments are concerned.
April, did you make a payment?
Yes.
How much?
$1,200.
So now you are caught up December, January, and March, correct?
My stepdad and I had an actual barter agreement that went deeper than actually making the $400 payments alone. He didn't actually offer me the car as a, you don't have a car, so let me allow you to have this car. The car was given to me because him and my mom have an odd relationship.
Listen to me. You want to talk about your mother and your stepfather's odd relationship, go on Dr. Phil, if he wants to go with you. I'm figuring out you had an arrangement where you were supposed to make car payments. You had the car in December, you didn't make a payment. You had the car in January, you didn't make a payment. You made a payment in February. March, you didn't make a payment. In April, you made a $1,200 payment, which takes you current for December, January, and March. Now, did you make a payment in May?
No, because in April, that was the payment for...
Make a payment in June?
No.
Did you have the car in June?
Yes.
Did you make a payment in July?
I did, yes.
How much?
For $320.
$320?
Correct.
August?
August is when he took the car back.
So let me understand this. You had the car December, January, you made no payment. You made a payment in February. March, you made no payment. In April, you made a payment of $1,200, which brought you then current for December, January, and March, leaving April unpaid, May unpaid, June unpaid, and you owed money in July because you didn't make the full payment. That's what you just told me. Now, you want to tell me you have the car 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months. 371 times 7 equals $2,597. That's what you should have made in payments.
Well, Your Honor, we had an agreement,
Just a second. You made $1,920 in payments. And you should have made $2,597 or $2,600 in payments. What are you suing for?
Because, again, Your Honor, him and I had an oral agreement that if I was not able to make, again, the car was only given to me because of the fact...
Listen to me. I don't want to hear the nonsense that you put in here. Do you understand? I'm not interested in the nonsense that you watch over your father, wanting to know where he was and what he was doing. I'm not interested.
Okay.
You had a car, you were driving around in the car, and you were paying for the car.
I was also helping my stepdad get to work. I was also picking him up, gas, taking him to work every day. So there has to be some form of compensation for that as well. Or that was our bartering oral agreement that we had. For the times when I could not make a car payment, I'd communicate with him, and I also was responsible for taking him to and from work. Regardless of keeping up with him, that's not my concern. It's just the fact that I did put the effort in, and I followed the agreement as we had described with one another.
Yeah.
I stayed honest with it, and I communicated with him.
You think about it in terms of, you rented a car for 7 months. You paid $271 a month for the 7 months that you had the car. That's what it comes down to. That's what your payments come down to. $271 a month to drive around in a relatively nice car. And then you didn't make payments. You didn't make payments most of April, May, and June, and July. You came up short. Ridiculous.
But, Your Honor, the people who I would rent the car from, I wouldn't be doing anything for them either. So,
There's a reason you got your last car repossessed, because you didn't make the payments. And you got this car repossessed because you didn't make the payments.
No.
There's a trend here.
Well, actually on August the 6th, I got my car repossessed because I wouldn't take my mother to Publix. Up until this point, me and Willie had pure correspondence. He never taken the car back. If my loan company told me they were going to take the car back, they called me and they let me know that was going to happen. So I was aware of that.
Just a second. It's not your loan company. Is your name on the loan?
Exactly, it's not. But we do have text messages.
Is your name on the loan?
No, it is not.
Do you have a job?
Yes, I do.
What kind of job?
I promote for computer processors.
Do you do that on a weekly salary basis?
I get paid every 2 weeks.
How much?
How much I get paid every 2 weeks, or how much an hour?
Are you paid by the hour?
I'm paid by the hour.
Great. Do you work?
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm a chemical operator.
And you get paid weekly, bi-weekly?
Bi-weekly.
So when you don't make a car payment to the bank on his behalf, that's not on your credit. That's on his. When you don't pay April, May, June, shortchange him in July, don't pay in December, don't pay in January, do a big catch-up, that's all on his credit, not on yours. You can't get credit because you already had a car repossessed, so nobody's going to give you a whole bunch of money. You have,
But, Your Honor,
you have no case, period.
Now,
you drove a rental car for $271.
I'm also suing him for the punitive damages for the false police report. Because the day of the repossession for no payment, he called the police and said that I was assaulting my mother when he was repossessing the car, which I had no aware. I was coming to pick him up so he could even go to work because they didn't have the ability to get to work. They didn't have a car to get there. I'm a promoter at work. I'm also a taxi car driver, but now you're saying I should do it for free.
Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. If you had your own car, you wouldn't be responsible for taking your stepfather to work, running errands for your mother. Take care of yourself. You're a 31-year-old woman. Do whatever you have to do.
But
you have a counterclaim for what?
I'm counterclaiming because of the late payments and the payments she didn't make and that I had to make, and then plus she didn't put insurance on the car.
Just forget the insurance.
Okay.
Forget that. How many months did you have to make up during the time she had the car?
I made 3 months.
Well, let's figure it out. She had the car for 7 months. So, $25.97 is what she should have paid. She actually paid $1,920 in payments. $677. That's what she owes you. That's the difference. When she drove the car, what she was supposed to have paid and what she did pay. $677. Judgment on the counterclaim. We're finished. Thank you.
Okay, what about the repairs that I made for the car, Your Honor, and the false police report? I have a police statement.
Bye.
While you're excused, you may step out.
I mean, it was just a sensitive issue that we just definitely needed a judge to mediate with.
I guess she felt like she was right.
It wasn't something that we could work out on our own.
I guess it was something between the mom and daughter.
I mean, I know we'll move forward. We're family.
Oh, they'll be fine. It'll be fine.
I am kind of glad.
All parties in the matter of Castillo versus Nadine Dominguez. Step forward.
Ekaterina Castillo is suing dog salon owners Rachel Nading and Diana Dominguez for vet bills after a groomer at their salon cut her dog's nails too short.
Miss Castillo, how long have you been using the defendants as dog groomers?
Since 2010, Your Honor.
So how many times do you think in total you've used the defendant's services to groom your dog?
Every month since 2010.
That's a lot of time. So you haven't had any difficulty because you wouldn't have taken your dog back if you had any difficulty, correct?
Yes.
This last time it is your claim that the defendant, I don't know which one, broke a nail on your dog, which ultimately caused an infection, which ultimately caused that digit to have to be amputated.
Yes, Your Honor.
Not the foot, but just the little digit. And you want them to be responsible for the vet bills. That's
Yes,
what the
Your Honor.
case is about.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
It doesn't say what the cause of this nail was. It just said it was infected.
The nail was removed.
I know that, but you have to connect that to the defendants. You took the dog in 2 weeks later.
I can explain, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Ekaterina Castillo says dog salon owners Rachel Nading and Diana Dominguez are responsible for vet bills after a groomer injured her dog.
Now, who actually did the grooming on the dog?
One of our employees.
Where is that employee?
She is at work right now.
Why?
We had to be here since we are the owners.
Well, you could have one owner and the employee who actually did the work.
That's true.
Well, why didn't you do that?
I'm not sure, Your Honor.
Were you there when the dog was groomed?
I was there. I mean, not physically watching every second, but I was taking...
That's what I need. I need somebody who was physically there, watching every second.
Yes.
She wasn't there.
No.
Where do you come from?
Marina Valley.
Where is that?
It's about an hour and a half from L.A.
Did you drive here?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why you didn't bring the dog groomer. Bizarre. On what date did you take the dog?
June 15.
That was the last visit?
Yes.
And when you picked the dog up from the groomer, did you have a conversation with anyone?
Usually I just pick up the dog.
Picked up the dog and paid it?
Mm-hmm.
On what date did you take the dog to the vet?
I take dog to the vet on June 29 in the morning.
2 weeks later?
Yes.
Why?
Because I don't see...
There was a problem with the nail.
June 28 in the evening. And next day in the morning, I immediately take him to the doctor.
So the first time you saw the dog with anything wrong was 2 weeks after the grooming?
Yes, Your Honor.
How many dog groomers do you have?
Ourselves, and then we have 2 more.
How many times have you personally groomed this dog?
Gosh, a handful of times, maybe.
How many
maybe
times
more.
have you personally groomed this dog?
Probably more than 20.
The name of the groomer who groomed the dog that day?
Monica.
How long has Monica been working for you?
About 2 years.
How many times has Monica groomed the plaintiff's dog?
About 5 times or so, maybe.
She a full-time employee?
Yes.
I'd like to see the initial report from the vet. This isn't the initial report from the vet. This is in September. I'm looking for the initial report from the vet. Where is the initial report?
This is from June 29 and September 4th.
I'm not interested in September 4th. June 29th. It says medication. It says to keep the dog bandaged. It doesn't say what the cause of this nail was. It said it was given an antibiotic.
The nail was removed.
I know that, but you have to connect that to the defendants. You took the dog in 2 weeks later.
I can explain, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
The nail was broken. It was a little crack, so I don't see it.
It was just a little crack, so you didn't see it, so you didn't see anything. You can't tell me what you didn't see. What I'm telling you is you're guessing.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Katerina Castillo says dog salon owners Rachel Native and Diana Dominguez are responsible for vet bills after a groomer injured her dog.
It doesn't say what the cause of this nail was.
The nail was removed.
I know that, but you have to connect that to the defendants. You took the dog in 2 weeks later.
I can explain, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Infection was, I have the pictures. So
Don't
infection...
show me any pictures. I want to know if there was something wrong with the dog's nail when you brought it back from the groomer, why you didn't take it to the vet. And if you say to me, I didn't see anything wrong until the 28th of June.
Yes.
And you took the dog right in on the 29th of June.
Yes.
You still have to connect what was wrong with the dog with the groomer.
This when I check it.
You still have to connect. The dog walks around. I have dogs. Sometimes a dog's nail breaks. Sometimes they step on something. Sometimes they fracture. I just need a connection between what happened on June 15th and what you saw on June 28th. The doctor doesn't say that unless I'm missing it.
I can explain
You can't explain it to me unless it's in here.
The infection was already big when I see this, and it's like about 2 weeks.
I have no idea, and you're guessing. You haven't put together the infection 2 weeks later and anything that was done at the groomers. You have to put that together. Just because the dog got an infection doesn't mean they're responsible.
The nail was broken a little bit by the nail bed, so it was not broken nails like the broken nails. So it was a little crack by the nail bed, so I don't see it. I see it only when it shows up.
You're guessing. What I'm telling you is you're guessing. It was just a little crack, so you didn't see it, so you didn't see anything. You can't tell me what you didn't see. What you told me was the dog was groomed on June 15th. You didn't see anything wrong with the dog until 2 weeks later when you took the dog to the vet.
Yes.
Now I'm telling you that unless this report that the infection was caused by somebody clipping the dog's nails or some other reason, they're not responsible for your vet bills because it could have happened anywhere. 10 days before, 9 days before, 8 days before, 7 days before. It could have happened anytime. Could have had a problem and got infected because dogs walk in the street where it's dirty and there's bacteria. I can't put that on the groomers.
The dog, inside dog, he don't go outside, only in the backyard.
I try to explain it to you. If I can't explain it to you any better, I'm sorry, Ms. Castillo. Your case is dismissed.
Can I give you some picture to take a look for you understand?
Just a second. Did you take any pictures of the dog on June 15th?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Did you take any pictures of the dog on June 15th?
Not on June 15th.
Did you take any pictures of the dog on June 16th? No. 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th. I'm not interested in you showing me pictures of the dogs. It proved a connection between the dog's injury and something that they did wrong. And that's what you have to prove.
Because this infection, right about the 2 weeks...
We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
What's wrong with it?
It is saturated with oil.
The tops are $99 a piece.
The bill for a bouncy house made Mom...
How much money?
$2,650.
Judge Judy.
I think she was very fair, and
this is judge decision, so I agree with this.
obviously we didn't do anything, so I'm very happy with the result.
But I still think like I can prove a connection.
She said that we had cut the nail too short.
This was doctors say. This was about 2 weeks already here.
We found out 3 months later.
This is why it's called amputation, because infection was so deep.
I can't say what she was up to, but
be very careful and check your dog all the time, because vet tell me.
I mean, it wasn't anything that we did.
That's very common to dog after groomers come to clinic with injuries.
We're glad the dog's okay and he made a full recovery.
You are in the business stuff for kids' parties.
A party rental didn't bounce his way.
What do you claim was damaged? What's wrong with it?
It is saturated with oil.
The tops are $99 a piece.
But his bill made this mom jump.
He took money from your card.
Yes.
How much money?
$2,650.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Party rental company owner Thomas Carangella is suing former client Mercedes Austin for damage to a bounce house and other carnival items.
Order. All rise.
It's case number 188 on the calendar in the matter of Carangella versus Austin.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Mr. Carangella, you are in the business of renting bouncy houses and stuff for kids' parties.
Correct.
How long have you been in that business?
Been in business 4.5 years.
Did you buy the business from someone, or did you start it yourself?
I started myself from ground up.
Did you buy the equipment new or used?
I buy it new.
And recently, you were hired by the defendant to provide service. When was the party to take place?
July 14th, 2018.
And the equipment was supposed to be set up in your backyard?
No.
Yes, it was supposed to be initially set up in your yard.
When I first paid, I told him that I wanted it set up in my backyard, but we couldn't because the space to get into my backyard is about this wide.
Pay careful attention to me. When you first spoke to the plaintiff about renting his equipment, you said you were setting it up in your yard.
I wanted to.
Correct.
It was never
correct.
confirmed.
That's where you wanted it set up, in your yard. Was it the day that the stuff was delivered that you found that it couldn't go in your yard?
No, ma'am. It was probably about A week later, after I talked to the other vendors, because I rented also rides, like Ferris wheel, train, and airplane ride, and they Google mapped my house, and they said, there's no way we can fit this stuff back there. So I called him. Told him.
The party was on the 14th
of July.
On what date did you call the plaintiff and tell the plaintiff that instead of putting it in your yard, it was going to be put in the street?
Around June 30th.
So 2 weeks before the party?
Yes, ma'am.
What?
No, that's not true,
On
Your
what
Honor.
date do you say she called and let you know that the party was going to be?
Lies.
Don't talk back and forth. You say in your answer, it says the day his crew came to set up the equipment,
yes,
the morning of the party,
yes,
they immediately complained about the setup being in the street. He threatened to leave, and I was desperate to make things right. He wanted me to put that bouncy house in front of my house, which was near the caterer.
Yes.
And he demanded a deposit of $1,000. I gave it to him on my credit card.
Yes, ma'am.
There was a spill of oil onto the street.
Yes, ma'am.
That's why we're here, because he says that his equipment, or some of it, was damaged by you, your caterer, kids, whoever, and he wants to be compensated. And you have a counterclaim.
Yes, ma'am.
Your counterclaim is that he took too much money off your credit card.
Yes.
So let's start with this. How much were you supposed to pay him for the equipment that he was renting to you?
I paid him $590 on March 11th, I think.
$590?
Yes.
And for what pieces of equipment did you pay him $590?
For a carousel jumper, a game booth, a popcorn machine, a snow cone machine, and a cotton candy machine. And 3 or 4 tarp that goes underneath the bounce house that goes with it.
And all of that was $590?
Well, it stayed as $475, but $590 was for delivery and cleaning.
And she paid you for it in advance?
Correct.
Now, what do you claim was damaged?
I claim that the damage was the...
No. Did you bring me what was damaged?
I did bring you a damaged tarp, yes.
I'd like to see it. No, don't give me the whole thing. Hold it up. What's wrong with it?
It is saturated with oil and was laying on the ground and saturated into the ground.
Okay, so that's a damaged tarp. And what is the other thing that's damaged?
This is just an example when we do, after we get done with our rentals, we clean our equipment. And this is one of the cleaning equipment that we have that goes back out.
Great. How much is the damaged tarp?
She damaged 3 tarps, the same way these are.
Do you have the cost of those tarps?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to take a look at it.
Can I have my wife come up?
No. I want you to show me an estimate for the replacing of those 3 tarps.
Damage of the tarps.
Just a second. The tarps are $99 a piece.
They're $300 and something.
No. They're $99 a piece, $200 damaged. Not steel frames, not bars, not end hooks, just the tarps. If there was oil spilled on it, that's what you said. That's $297 for all 3. That's what it says. Would you show that to him, please? 3 at $99 a piece. That's what it says.
And, Your Honor, can I show you what he gave me?
I just want him to look at it. 3 at $99 a piece, $297 for the 3.
That's correct.
Right.
But please, it states additional $135 a piece for the steel frames that come with the canopy.
Not going to happen, sir. Not going to happen. Oil didn't destroy or damage steel frames. Not going to happen. Not going to happen for you.
Okay.
Now, you wanted to show me something?
Yes. He originally said that he charged me $35 to my car for damages or whatever. Then he turns around and says those tarps are $1,350.
Well, just listen to me. Right now, he has damage of, at most, $297 for oil that's spilling on the tarps. At most. And you paid him already $590.
Plus cleaning.
In addition to that, he took money from your card.
Yes.
How much money?
$2,650.
That's your counterclaim.
Yeah.
Benefit of every doubt, less $297. $2,353, sir. I'd like to see the additional damage for $2,353.
Sure.
See it. Pictures. See it.
I got pictures.
Let me see it.
I got all of them.
Don't speak.
This is all the damage.
This is all the damage.
Okay.
Correct. And further. Correct.
Just a second. Damage to bounce house.
Correct.
Oh, I don't see any damage to the bounce
There's
house.
oil on the bounce house.
Have you replaced the bounce house? And if you have replaced it, I want to see a paid bill that you've replaced it after the party.
No, I have not.
Your Honor, may I speak? I had someone call and ask if the bounce house was available this
Listen
time.
to me. You don't have to speak.
Okay.
The answer is he hasn't replaced it, and he's still using it. Sir, I don't see any before and after pictures of this. You want to show me where those are? You say this is what the mouth looked like of the clown before the event. I don't have a clown mouth after the event showing me damages. This is a carousel jumper before the damage, and I would like you to show me in these pictures that you gave me the damage after the event.
Show you a
me.
picture?
I want to see pictures. You showed me these two pictures.
This one here is the bottom of the bounce house. And here's another picture of the bounce house, the bottom of the bounce house.
Great.
Yes.
Great.
Okay.
Disregard the bounce house. Listen to me. Are you listening?
Yes, ma'am.
Disregard the bounce house, which you're still using. Show me the damage to the clown's mouth.
The damage was done on the backside.
Judgment on the counterclaim to the defendant in the amount of $2,353. I'm removing $297, and that's for the 3 tarps. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Rest of the money you're getting back. We're done. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy made a fair and honest decision, which I was looking for, and I got it today.
I'm fine. Everything's just as good.
So I'm glad we came here today.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Morgan versus Morgan. Step forward.
Lamar Morgan is suing his brother, 22-year-old Willie Morgan, for bail and attorney fees after he was arrested for attempted murder.
Mr. Morgan, the defendant is your brother. Is he your older brother or your younger brother?
My younger brother.
How many brothers are there?
5 brothers.
How old is the oldest?
39. Total of 10.
Where did you all grow up?
We grew up in Berkeley.
What kind of work do you do?
I do housekeeping.
How long have you been doing that?
12, 13 years.
Married or single?
Married.
Have kids?
1.
How old?
12.
And you, Mr. Morgan, how old are you?
22.
What do you do for a living?
I do security at Kaiser.
Who do you live with?
I live by myself.
And you were arrested
Yes.
when?
May 2017.
And it was a serious charge.
Yes.
Had you ever been arrested before?
No.
Have you ever been arrested since May of 17?
No.
But the charge in May of 17 was murder.
It was attempted murder.
When you were arrested, everybody sort of rallied around you because you were a good kid.
Yeah.
Including your brother.
Yes.
How much was your bail?
It was 1.2 million, then it was dropped down to 300,000, then 250,000, and the charges were dropped down to assault with a firearm.
What happened with that case?
It was dismissed.
It was an outright dismissal?
Well, I'm not clear what that means exactly.
That means that you didn't plead guilty to something. The district attorney dismissed all the charges.
Oh, yes.
And when you were arrested in May, how long were you held?
For a week.
Must have been frightening.
Well, yeah.
Not?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Must have been. Were you held in a local jail?
Yeah.
When were the charges? Because I gather from what you're telling me, they started out big, and then they realized they had nothing big, and then it wasn't there.
Yeah.
And they kept offering you lower and lower and lower to just say, let's get this over with.
Yeah.
And you said, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
Now, when did they finally dismiss all the charges?
It was May 15th.
Of this year?
Yes.
So a year later?
Yes.
And so I'm sure you've contemplated what it would have been like to stay in that jail instead of a week for a year.
Yes.
Not nice.
Yeah.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Did they ever arrest anyone else for this crime?
They were looking for 3 suspects. My vehicle was a black 4-door, so it matched the description, so that's their reason for pulling me over and searching me.
Did they find anything when they searched you?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Lamar Morgan says his brother, Willie Morgan, owes for bail and attorney fees after he was arrested for attempted murder.
Now, how much money did your brother put up for your bail?
I'm not exactly sure, but it was majority of it.
How much money did you put up for his bail?
$3,000.
And did you have a public defender or a private attorney?
I had a private attorney.
How much was his bill?
$11,000.
Family get together and help you with that?
No.
Who did?
My brother.
How much did he give you?
I'm not exactly sure.
Well, you have an outstanding bill with the lawyer?
Well, actually, now that I remember. And with the bill, I had a coworker who gave me $2,000, and I paid him back.
The co-worker?
Yes.
What about your father?
My father, no, it's for you. It was a
Father,
gift.
you did not pay back?
Yeah, it was a gift.
Okay. And when the bail was reduced within the week, I assume the district attorney who looked at this case said, all right, this is not a $1.2 million. This is how much? How much was his bail?
It went down to $250,000, and he had to pay $20,000. So when he called me, he asked me to bail him out, and he told me he'd pay me back. So we all put money together, and they said they'd come up with $7,000. We were trying to work out a deal with the bail bonds place, and so we did that, and they agreed if we give them $7,000, then they'll release him.
Who put up the rest?
I put $3,000. My brother's wife put $2,000, and his coworker put another $2,000 down. So $7,000. He'd been making the $450 month payments on that.
Still?
Yes.
You have a lawsuit pending against the county?
No.
Did they ever arrest anyone else for this crime?
They were looking for 3 suspects, but never found. I was arrested by myself.
Was that on an eyewitness identification?
No. Just my vehicle was a black 4-door, so it matched the description, so that's their reason for pulling me over and searching me.
Did they find anything when they searched you?
No.
Any reason why you shouldn't pay your brother back this bail?
Because I was in jail, I got arrested. 18 hours because they couldn't decide if they were going to go through and file the charges and everything because they didn't have any evidence for anything. So when I finally got the chance to call my brother, he was already notified that I've been arrested and he was already trying to bail me out. So when I was talking to him, he was having trouble with different bail bonds trying to bail me out, and some bail bonds were wanting too much money or wanting to put me on house arrest. So that's why it took a week for him to bail me out.
Why did you call him? So far, you have a lot of talk.
Well, he was the first person I called, and
he was
answered.
the first person that you called?
Yeah.
What did you call him for?
Just to let him know I was in jail.
Okay. Let him know that this terrible thing had happened to you.
Yes.
Were you working at the time?
I was working, going to school, and playing football.
Are you still paying off the bail bondsman?
Yes. And still paying the lawyer fees.
Still going to school?
Not yet. I have too much stuff to pay off and a lot of credit card debt and car repossession debt and everything.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
We had sat down with him, and she had wrote a list of everything of what he needed to pay back, because before he went to jail, he got tickets on her car too as well, so he had owed her money too as well throughout the year. He never paid her back too. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was sort of kid stuff.
Real Lamar Morgan says his brother, Willie Morgan, owes for bail and attorney fees after he was arrested for attempted murder.
Now, your brother wants his $3,000 back. He's entitled to his...
There was another $1,000 that went to his lawyer fees too. He had called me because he had lost his job from spending that week in jail too. So when he had got out of jail and he finally lost his job, he asked, can I help him with that too as well? And so I was like, okay, I'll help you with that too as well. So after everything is over with, you pay me back. And so when he was in jail, he also told me that he'd pay me back too, and his girlfriend said the same thing. And then we decided to help him out because he wasn't able to catch up on all his bills and pay everything because he lost his job and he was looking for a job. And so my friend helped him get another job, delivering like beer to stores and stuff as a stocker and stuff. So he was doing that throughout the year. And before me and her moved into our house, we had sat down with him, and she had wrote a list of everything of what he needed to pay back, because before he went to jail, he got tickets on her car too as well. So he had owed her money too as well throughout the year. And he never paid her back too. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was sort of kid stuff.
Yeah, we've been taking care of him since he was 14 years old. I mean, a lot of the stuff that he put us through, I mean, he's been very unappreciative of everything we put him through. My mom had got sick in 2012, and she finally just passed away this past year and stuff. So he just really been, like, really, really ungrateful for everything we've been trying to teach him and stuff. Like, we tried to teach him to tell him to go, like, help him go to college and stuff, or anything like that. And we try to be role models toward him. I went to school myself to graduate with a master's degree. She went to school, got her registered nurse. She's a registered nurse now. And we've been trying to show him these ropes about what to do. And he just been very defiant for no reason. Like, I haven't done nothing to him. Like, I haven't spoken to him since June, really, you know. Before then, I talked to him in May because that's when he had brought her money to her that he owed her. And then before that, when my mom passed away at her funeral, me and him had gotten to it too as well, about everything, about the money, about him living with us, not wanting to pay rent and stuff, because we told him that he could stay with us.
When was the last time he lived with you?
It was about April 12th, somewhere around there.
Where did you move in April?
It was in May. Kicked me out in May, 2 days before my mom's funeral, and I went and lived with a friend.
Where are you living now?
I have my own apartment now.
Did he pay $1,000 towards your lawyer?
Yes.
How did he find out that you needed money for a lawyer? Did you call him?
Because we have a brother who's in prison as well. So a long time ago, when my brother was arrested for murder and everything, and we didn't have money.
That's not a for everything.
Yeah.
If you're arrested for murder, that's a serious charge, and is he in prison on that charge?
Yeah. At the time, my brother didn't have any bail or a lawyer or anything. We didn't have any money for that a long time ago. So my brother here, he felt the need that he's seen the situation I was in and how I explained to him how I didn't do anything. So he felt the need as my big brother to have them in prison or anything like that for like a long time, and my whole life just being thrown away.
Well, if you commit a crime, you deserve to be in prison.
Yeah.
So what you're suggesting to me that the brother who's in prison now is there and didn't do anything?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you in a family dispute? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
So what you're suggesting to me that the brother who's in prison now is there and didn't do anything?
No, he just knew that, like...
Is that what you're suggesting to
No.
me? So the answer is no. Okay, but you're standing here today and telling me that with regard to this case, the only case that you were ever involved in, it wasn't you weren't involved with it.
Yeah, correct.
And the reason that you didn't spend a year in jail was because of the kindness of your brother and others.
Yes.
Pay him back $4,000. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done.
Why is that excused? Step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
It was a good decision. It just, you know, that's my younger brother, and I really do care for him, but it's like...
It was ridiculous.
He not gonna pay his debt and don't want to own up to...
People get away with stuff like that all the time, so...
To what he owed me, I mean, you know, it is what it's gonna be.
There's nothing I could do about it, and it was just ridiculous to me.
He helped him a lot.
I needed something to get to work, because I had gotten into a car accident, my car was messing up and everything, so...
Throughout his whole life, and that's what he chose to do.
Nothing. I just want to be left alone.
I regret saying it, but he on his own now.
It's time to go my own way.
An accounting firm.
They did work for you?
Yes.
Did you pay them?
Yes. That couldn't keep their own books straight?
I don't believe that's correct. Who did you write the check to?
To you.
They say there's an unpaid bill of $2,288.
I understand. That's what they say. If anything, they were negligent and non-responsible to me as a client.
But we did all this work.
Evidently not satisfactorily.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Bookkeeper Elizabeth Burns is suing her former client, deli owner Gary Wallach, for unpaid work.
Order. All rise.
It's case number 271 on the calendar in the matter of Burns versus Wallach. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat.
Ms. Burns, according to what I read in...
My mentor, Mr. Behar, and I purchased a friend of ours accounting firm.
Okay, and this was a client of that firm's?
It was, yes.
And you stayed on, did some business for him, and want to be paid. That's what your claim is about. And he's got a counterclaim. He says that you didn't know what the hell you were doing and you caused damage to his business. That's your counterclaim?
Yes.
Perfect. So, Mr. Wallach, how long had you been with the previous firm?
Approximately 25 years.
And this was a CPA firm?
She was not a CPA. She was an accountant.
What kind of work did she do for you?
Payroll for the business. She paid all my taxes, EDD. She did complete accounting of my business.
Okay. And what, Ms. Barnes, training do you have?
I'm an enrolled agent. I'm enrolled to practice before the Internal Revenue Service.
What training did you have?
So I started, when I went to college, I have a bachelor's. I started in accounting.
Just a second. Do you have a bachelor's in accounting?
No, I do not.
What do you have a bachelor's degree in?
It's a Bachelor of Arts in Business Administration with a management emphasis.
And when did you graduate from school?
I graduated in December of 2007.
What kind of work did you do after that?
I worked for a large healthcare technology company doing product support, helping healthcare providers submit their claims electronic and receive payment electronic.
Okay.
I also...
Not accounting?
No, but during that time, I had met Mr. Behar before I graduated during a summer job, and he's an enrolled agent. Grew up, my parents are accountants, and I grew up learning about it.
Just for my own information, when you took over this accounting firm, did you tell Mr. Wallach or any of the other clients about your experience? Did you put out a letter?
We did.
I'd like to see the letter that you put out.
I don't have the letter, and...
Do you remember what information you were provided about Miss Burns?
No information.
So why did you stay?
Because they worked with my late accountant, and they had all the paperwork, and they were knowledgeable from what I thought of doing the accounting.
But you didn't do any due diligence about them. I mean, I have an accountant. I've been with an accountant for well over 40 years. If somebody took over his firm, I don't know whether I would stay with them. I'd say, well, tell me about you.
Well, they were doing work for the old accountant off and on, and she recommended them.
Fine. So, and you accepted that?
Yes.
Okay. And they did work for you?
Yes.
Did you pay them?
Yes.
Okay. They say there's an unpaid bill of $2,288. That's what this case is about.
I understand. That's what they say. But I don't feel I owe them anything. If anything, they were negligent and non-responsible to me as a client, and they cost me severe penalties, delinquency charges. They increased their fees without even letting me know prior from the other accountant.
Just a second, wait, just 1 second. Part of what you're saying with their service, if you're dissatisfied with any service, you pay for that service and then you leave. If what you're telling me is that the fee structure changed without notifying you, that's a particular that I'll hear. Is that what you're alleging?
No. That wasn't the cause of...
Just a second. Well, you mentioned that in your litany of lists. You said that they changed their fees without telling me. Am I mistaken?
No, you're not, but that's not why I'm here, because of that.
Well, then why do I have to know about it? You made a whole list of reasons why you didn't pay them. You have to pay them if they did work for you. You were not satisfied with the work, then you leave. They're not going to be responsible, sir. If for some reason your taxes went up, that's not their responsibility.
Okay. Okay. The reason I did pay them.
How much did you pay them starting when?
I started paying them when they first started.
Give me the date.
First check was in April of 18th. I received a bill for $111.92.
April of what year?
That was paid of 2018.
Okay, so
that
it was paid. So
yes.
then, as far as you were concerned, you were current?
Absolutely.
Okay, is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, so it's after April. What bill did you get after April?
Here's a bill from June 15th for $432.49.
Did you pay it?
I paid it, and the check was cashed 3 months later. I was giving them checks, and they did not credit me. They were waiting 3 months to cash the checks while they were gone for 3 months back east doing something with the Boy Scouts.
Just a second. What months do you allege he owes you for?
May, June, and July.
So he got a bill on June 5th, he said, of 2018 for $432.
I don't believe that's correct. Who did you write the check to?
I have to you.
Who's that? That says Byerlin. I'm not Byerlin.
Yeah, but you were working for the time.
I was not.
No, that's June.
I was not.
Then why were you sending me the bills?
Byerlin is not me. She sent you that bill.
But it was for the time you were working for her.
Just a second.
I'm sorry.
Don't answer her.
Okay.
How much did you pay your former accountant a month to do the work for you, your billing, etc.?
It was approximately $150 a month.
Okay, so when you paid $432 and you pay that in June, you pay that to the old accountant.
Who was not doing any of the work. She had a stroke.
But she had to have cashed the check.
Yeah, she was cashing it, but then she should have reimbursed them.
Well, I don't know that. She doesn't know that. Now, May, June, and July, he had been paying the old accountant $150 approximately a month. You have a bill for $2,286. What is that for?
Twice a month, there was a payroll tax return, and then we had to go back and do input that Ms. Byerlin had never done for 2017.
Did you discuss that with him first?
Yeah, he actually dropped everything off.
For 2017?
Yeah.
And you discussed that with him?
He had dropped the paperwork off and asked us to input it.
Did you discuss what your fee would be with him?
Yes, and actually the first invoice he paid, and it has our fee on there.
May I see it, please?
Yes.
The $111.92 was the current amount.
Correct, and he did pay that.
Customer total balance was for when?
It was for that time period. So it was the total balance.
For work that you did?
Work I did or my employees did.
And that's that work?
Yes.
Did you turn that work back over to him?
Yes.
When?
I believe July 17th he had contacted our office and had us forward the QuickBooks file to the person who was going to take over, and that was completed. And she...
Oh, just a second. So you never turned it over to him. He was firing your company and turning it over to somebody else?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to show you this. Do you remember this invoice, sir? you ever question the amount at the bottom?
No.
Why?
Because I paid it.
$2,288?
Excuse me, this is $11,100.
No, it said previous balance, $2,288.
Oh, yeah, I did question it.
Tell me about the discussion when you questioned it.
The discussion was when I gave a check on June 15th, and this was the balance sheet, they weren't crediting me the checks that I was giving them, number one.
Can I see? Because you were making them payable to whom?
Well, I was paying to my old accountant.
Just tell me, the name you were making the checks payable to was who?
Was Byron's.
Okay, that's who you have to sue. Sue her. Sue her estate. Because he says he's paying her.
Those are from old bills.
No, impossible.
I'm confused.
He was your client from when to when?
He was our client from, I believe, the middle of March until the middle of July.
I'd like to see the checks that you made from March, April, and May. This is June 15th, $432, which would have covered 3 months.
Yes, I don't have that check with me, but it was made to her.
This one?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think I can help you, Miss Burns.
I don't understand. She was sending out bills for prior balances that had...
You know that. He doesn't have to prove anything to me.
But we did all this work.
Evidently not satisfactorily. Because, I mean, why would he take business away from you if he had been with a firm for 25 years? Let's be realistic. If somebody is in business and everything is going smoothly and whoever is there retires and you're perfectly satisfied with the replacement and all your business is there, all your prior returns are there, all your prior bills were there, why would you move it?
Probably because you're not satisfied or...
Well, either because you're not satisfied or because things weren't working well.
Right.
When this woman had a stroke, was that in March?
No, it was in August of 17.
Okay, did she continue to work?
She did not. She was in a coma.
Well, then who's cashing her checks?
So we were operating her business, and they were going into her business account. She is now back, and so she is now depositing those checks.
So she's back?
She is.
Well, find out from her where all the money is. He says he's paid. And why isn't she here?
She just can't move very well.
Okay. I give you 3 minutes to explain your counterclaim to me.
My counterclaim was, as of today, I am getting delinquent bills for business license that was never done by the accountant that should have been. EDD, notice of form that was delinquent, that was never done on their part. Federal tax deposits that were submitted incorrectly. Federal tax deposits that were made many mistakes.
We'll share it with the plaintiff.
Sure. Let me show you all of these. Okay.
First piece of
This is the first one.
Just for my own information, Miss Burns, the person from whom you took over the business is now back in business.
On a very, very limited basis.
Are you working with her?
No.
Okay, then we're done. Did you take care of any tax deposits in March of 2018?
I don't believe so, because I believe Ms. Byerlin was doing that.
Well, that's why it's all pretty muddy. I thought you said she had a stroke in August, and now she's back. And you worked for him March, April, May, and June. This is March 31st. Your federal income tax deposit wasn't submitted correctly. And this is for a delinquent business license. Were you supposed to take care of that?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
Return the car. Put your hand down. So far, you're not losing. You're getting the car back. Now, the only other issue, what do you want?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Bookkeeper Elizabeth Burns says former client, deli owner Gary Wallach, owes for services rendered. Gary is countersuing for damage she caused.
In June, this is March 31st. Your federal income tax deposit wasn't submitted correctly. And this is for a delinquent business license. Were you supposed to take care of that?
It was due on August 31st, and he had terminated services before I had completed it.
Oh, it was due on July 1st.
No, so they have a due date. So like the payroll returns, they're due the first day of the month after the quarter ends, but they're not delinquent until after the...
That doesn't mean anything. Your payment is due on July 1st.
No, I believe it says at the top that payment's due August.
Payment is due on July 1st. Penalty applies after August 31st. Payment is due July 1st.
They have a grace period.
I'm done. You have a new accountant? You happy?
Very.
Good. Case is dismissed. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I believe the defendant didn't explain things correctly.
They left their business unattended.
He was receiving old bills and paying them and then saying
They never checked in.
that he was paying me, and that's not even true.
And everything became a mess where we could never get a hold of them.
Because he didn't have any money.
And they were just irresponsible and didn't care.
If people don't pay me when they get the bill, I'd never do business with them.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Bucci versus Haynes. Step forward.
Dana Bucci and her sister Susan are suing their stepfather, Thomas Haynes, for a car and...
Your mother for 33 years, is that correct?
Correct.
Your mother had a car. In whose name was the car?
Mine.
Tell me your name.
Dana Bucci.
And the title was titled in your name?
Mine and my mother's.
Is that correct, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
May I see the title?
You sure can.
And was there a loan on the car?
There was, and still is.
How much is remaining on the loan?
$5,864.54.
Is your name on the loan?
No, Your Honor.
Then you have to return the car or pay off the loan. What's the issue, sir?
The issue is we had a benefit for my wife, and these ladies here helped throw the benefit for my wife, and they never returned any money to me.
Who cares? You want to throw a benefit for your wife? Throw a benefit for your wife. You have to return her car to her. That's it. Period. 5 days. You need more than 5 days? You may need a marshal to come and get it.
Truthfully, I don't really want the car.
I don't care whether you want it or not. If you don't want the car, your case is dismissed. What's your pleasure?
I just wanted the loan paid off.
Well, he's not going to do that. If he was going to do that, then you wouldn't be here, so you get the car back.
Your Honor.
And then at least you have the car. Do you want that or not?
Sure.
Great. 5 days, go
Your Honor.
retrieve the car with a marshal.
Can I speak up, please?
It's not your car.
I understand.
What do you think they owe you for?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Do I have to deal with anything else? What?
The issue with the benefit, I know you don't want to hear about the benefit.
I
but
don't. Sir, pay careful attention
Sure.
to me. Did you pay for the funeral?
No.
What did you do? What did you do?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Dana Bucci and her sister Susan claim their stepfather, Thomas Haynes, owes for a car and for abusing their late mother. Thomas is countersuing for money owed, stolen property, and the return of his wife's ashes.
If you don't want the car, your case is dismissed. What's your pleasure?
I just wanted the loan paid off.
Well, he's not going to do that. If he was going to do that, then you wouldn't be here, so you get the car back.
Your Honor.
And then at least you have the car. Do you want that or not?
Sure.
Great. 5 days, go
Your Honor.
retrieve the car with a marshal.
Can I speak up, please?
It's not your car.
I understand that it's not my car, but I'm doing a counterclaim.
What do you think they owe you for?
The benefit so I can pay my bills.
No. Listen, if you're a survivor, sir, then you get certain benefits. If there were any other benefits that were not survivors'
My wife had them do that so that we would have the money.
Oh, I don't know that. You have to return the car. 5 days. I have to deal with anything else? What?
Well, there's some other things on the claim that I don't know if... Can I stand up?
Sure.
Well,
Who are you?
I'm Christopher. I'm Tommy's best friend, Christopher Ledoux.
Well, what's wrong with him?
Nothing, but there are some other things on the counterclaim that I just want to make sure get addressed.
Like what?
The issue with the benefit, I know you don't want to hear about the benefit,
I
but
don't.
The wife...
Sir, pay careful attention
Sure.
to me. Pay careful attention to me. If there were survivor benefits, lawful survivor benefits, they would go in normal due course, they would go to the defendant. He was her next of kin. They would go to him, correct? I assume that there were certain Social Security benefits? No? No burial benefits?
No.
No? Who paid for the funeral?
It was a donation.
True. Just a second.
Sorry.
Did you pay for the funeral?
No.
What did you do? What did you do? Return the car. Put your hand down. So far, you're not losing. You're getting the car back. Your expenses are going to be held here until the car is returned to them undamaged. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Perfect. Now, the only other issue, what do you want?
I just wanted to show he's been in possession of the car since my mom passed, and there's been payments that have been made.
Too bad. He's returning the car. Now, where are your mother's ashes?
They are at my house.
He wants them.
That's fine. I've got text messages between me and him, and I told him to just come and get them.
Oh, great. So at the time you make that exchange and you go pick up the car, drop off your mom's ashes, that was part of your counterclaim?
Yes.
That had nothing to do with money. You see that? So that's going to be the order. You're going to get your car back, and he's going to get his wife's ashes back. We're done. Thank you.
Your Honor.
What do you want?
I have a bed that's over there, too.
You have a what?
A bed.
Is that in your countersuit? I have to look here. Well, I have to look here. I didn't know. Sit down.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you in a family dispute? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
When I was forced out of my apartment in July, my stepdaughters promised to bring my bed to my friend's place where I was staying. It was never delivered. Where's his bed?
In the trailer at my house.
Great. Make arrangements to get it. Same time, you have to get it. You make arrangements. It's not going to be delivered to your house. It's there. What date do you want him to pick it up?
As soon as possible. He has not asked me for it.
Same day,
any
same day as you go pick up the car, if you crash it. Got it?
Got it.
Perfect. That'll all be in the order. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I think it's very petty.
I think it's ridiculous.
Because families shouldn't be doing this to each other.
Because I am the husband.
Tried to have him get the car into his name.
I should have the car.
He was talking about the benefit money. That would have all went into that.
I should have the money. It belongs to me.
As long as my name would have came off that title.
They've never liked me anyways, so...
Rolling in her grave.
That everything turns out to be...
Well, I'm glad she saw through him.
Better for the both of us.
The receipt showed where he was supposed to do the body repair and the paint job.
She took the car before it was through.
Then another collision in front of the judge.
He kept telling me, you can ask my niece. And then when he told me he was going to have...
I don't want to hear from the two of you talking over each other.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Tamara Eisen is suing mechanic Albert Dobson for failing more damage in the process.
Order. All rise.
This is case number 249 on the calendar, the matter of Isom versus Dobson.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat.
Miss Isom, you had a truck.
Yes, ma'am.
And were you in an accident with the truck?
Yes, ma'am.
When was that?
6/14/17.
And you had insurance on the truck?
Yes, ma'am.
And the insurance company totaled the truck.
Right.
But said that if you wanted to, you could keep it. And they took off $1,500 from the settlement that they gave you.
Right.
How much did they give you?
They gave me close to $6,000.
So now you had $6,000 and your truck.
Right.
The truck belonged to your father?
Right. I have his death certificate with me.
Did you have the title to it?
Yes.
You have that title here?
Yes, ma'am.
And you decided that you wanted to have the truck fixed?
Yes, ma'am.
So you took it to the defendant?
I didn't take it to him. He came and picked it up.
He came and picked it up because it was not drivable?
It was drivable. He drove it home to his house.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And on what date did you drive it home to your house?
I went and looked at the truck possibly on the 1st of October, and I drove it home like the 16th, 17th.
October 16th, 2017.
17.
How much give you to fix her truck?
The total amount was $2,000.
How long, Mr. Dobson, did you have the truck?
Well, when I got the truck, she told me it wasn't no time period.
That's not what I asked you.
I had the truck till
From
she had
October
it.
16th until when?
Until she had it total where I don't remember the exact date.
What month?
I don't remember the exact month.
What month did you have it towed off of his...
August 29th.
August of 2018.
Right, the 29th.
That's a very long time, sir.
Yes,
to have,
it is.
That's a very long time for you to have the vehicle and having not been fixed.
Well, it was a couple of issues, Your Honor, why it didn't get fixed. And one of them was it was hit in the back that she never told me about.
It was what?
Hit in the rear. And when I went to put the front door on that I was supposed to replace, it did not close properly. And she told me that she did not want the truck back like that. So she sent 2 guys by that was supposed to straighten out the back of the truck, and they never came by. because I got paid to fix the front of the truck. And all the money that she gave me went in parts for the truck, except for $500.
Show me the receipts for the parts.
I don't have them. The reason why I don't have the receipts for the part, Tamara was a friend of my niece's. I do this as like for a hobby. So all of the parts that I was getting for, I wasn't getting at regular manufacturer price. I was getting them cheaper from junkyards that I knew that had them.
Mr. Dobson, you October of 2017. Was the car driven back to her house?
She could have. The car was drivable, the door was back on, and the fender was back on.
I had a receipt from the tow.
I had to leave the door open on the car because the wedge of the car where it was through, the back frame was through off. I couldn't get back in the car if I shut the door all the way.
I see pictures of the car when you got it back.
Yes, ma'am. It's pictures showing where he had my interior is messed up. He broke the window.
I was supposed to do the exterior, Your Honor.
No, the receipt
I was doing
shows.
I don't want to hear from the two of you talking over each other.
Yes, ma'am.
The receipt showed where he was supposed to do the body repair and the paint job.
Right, exterior.
So now the wiring.
Just be quiet.
Okay.
Would you show this to the defendant, please?
This is not how the paint job looked when I gave her the car back or when she towed it back. And the paint job did not get to be sand down or buffed out because she took the car before it was through.
I want to see what the car looked like when you brought it back. Would you, Mr. Dobson, go through these pictures
Yes,
and
ma'am.
tell me if any of these pictures represent what the car looked like when you brought it to your house, and if there is a picture there from when she took it back.
No, Your Honor, there's no before pictures here of the car. This is the picture of me putting a new frame into the car.
Mr. Dobson, what I asked you for, I want you to pay attention to my question.
I am.
I said, is there a picture there of what the truck looked like when Miss Isom took the car back from you? Is that
only one?
One.
Yep.
This is when she took the car back.
Yes, Your Honor.
All of these were before.
When I was working on it.
Okay, with the shattered window.
The window was shattered when I picked it up from her house.
Did you replace it?
No, I wasn't supposed to.
Oh, so you didn't replace it?
No, I wasn't supposed to. When the window was broke.
Just shh. I'll tell you, that's a bad paint job. That's the same windshield.
Here's the note from the tow truck guy when he picked it up, saying everything that was wrong.
Don't tell me what tow truck guy said.
Okay.
Just a second. What is this a picture of?
Can I step up?
Would you show this to me?
This is a picture before, Your Honor. All of this was crushed all the way back to here on the frame. They split the wire harness that controls the backlights.
What I'm asking you is, did you do any work on the inside of the car?
I had to take the seats out to put the frame in.
Okay. And when you replaced the seats, what did it look like?
But I recovered the whole floor with fiberglass and sealed it. Right where you put your feet on the gas at, it was holes going through there. I filled those with fiberglass.
This is what he did.
And I bought all the material myself, Your Honor. You did?
Yeah, that's how it came back to me. And
I need to see that, too.
You can.
Mr. Dobson.
You to take my time.
Listen, Mr. Dobson, you have to give her back $1,000.
Huh?
You have to give her back $1,000.
He made my truck worse than it was.
That's actually all. Listen to me. That's actually. There's no question in my mind that Mr. Dobson didn't finish the job for which you paid him. You gave him $2,000. There's also no question that he did work on the car and got parts for the car.
He don't even have no receipt.
Listen to me. There's no question that he put parts in the car, and if you were honest or had a mechanic here who worked on the truck subsequently, you have nothing.
I have estimates.
You have nothing.
So he messed up my wiring and everything.
Well, I don't know that unless you have an expert.
I
and you
need
don't.
him here?
No, in my breakfast room. An expert who will tell me that somebody, other than as a result of an accident, caused damage to the car. You don't have that. There's no question in my mind that Mr. Dobson bought parts for the car, and he spent some time on the car. How much money does he have to give you back? I mean, you're suing him for $5,000. That's ridiculous.
He can give me back the money I gave him. I told him that the car was sentimental to me. Every time I go over there, he kept spinning me.
Finish her car. I did not spin her.
No, he kept telling me, you can ask my niece. When he told me he was going to have it done by Thanksgiving.
Her witness is the one who turned her on to me. So.
Do you want to be over, or do you want your $1,000 back, is my question. Do you want this to be over, Or do you want your
No,
$1,000?
I don't want it to be. I want the $1,000.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,000. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I appreciate giving me part of my money back.
I stand behind my work 100%.
Because it's sentimental to me. I got it from my dad.
If she wanted me to still finish it and do the rest, I would do it free of charge.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Spoosta versus Spoosta. Step forward.
Donald Spoosta is suing his son, Sean Spoosta, for a loan for a truck and truck-related expenses.
Mr. Spoosta, how many children do you have?
I have 3.
How old are they?
He's 34, and mother one's 38 and 37.
How old are you?
34.
You have any sort of substance abuse problem?
No, ma'am.
Were you having a difficult financial time?
Yes, ma'am.
You were living outside of the home, but I gather from dance.
Yes, ma'am.
You were living in a house that had a bunch of drug addicts living
Yeah,
there.
of course, yes.
Your father came and asked you if you wanted to move home, and you did.
Yes, ma'am.
When was that?
Probably the beginning of June, I would say.
And when you came home, your father bought a truck
Yes, ma'am.
that he put in your name.
Yes.
Did your father discuss with you buying the truck before he went to buy it?
Yes, we did.
And tell me your version of what the arrangement was with the truck, because it belongs to you, it's your truck.
Yes,
It's in
ma'am.
your name.
We discussed it. We settled on he'd pay half and I would pay half, and I made the payments.
Just a second. Did you know how much the truck was?
Yes, I did, ma'am. It was
How much?
$1,500.
And how did you come up with the agreement that you would pay half and he would pay half?
Well, that was our agreement that we both settled on.
Tell me about it.
We discussed, because I wasn't financially set or whatever, that he would help me out, and I agreed to it. And I paid the $750.
I know that you have a script that you want to say to me, sir.
Yeah.
I want you to tell me how you and your father came to the fact that he would advance the money for the truck and you would just pay him back
He
for
was
half.
doing it mostly out of the kindness of his heart, I believe, for the most part, trying to help me out. If I worked or whatever, pay the payments, and we would be equal on it then. I mean, it was just basically a discussion we had and a verbal agreement on what we would...
At the truck, Mr. Spusa.
Yeah, actually, prior to talking to Sean, I hadn't talked with him for about 8 months.
It's okay. Just tell me about the truck.
He came to me and said he found a vehicle that he wanted to purchase. It was like $2,000 down the road from where he was staying. And all he had was a bike, and he was riding a bike to and from a job he had working at a lumber yard. We went and looked at that one. We talked the lady down to $1,500. The vehicle was no good, and he was kind of upset with that. And I said, first off, I told him I would...
Tell me about this truck.
The truck. I told Sean I would lend him the money for the truck, and he could come and stay with me and my wife and help me on a mobile home that we bought because it needed repairs. Anyway, I told him I would lend him the money for the truck, and he pays me for the truck as long as he didn't go out and drink and do drugs. And he assured me he was not doing that anymore. And I told him as long as the truck, I'll lend him the money, he stays with me, but if he leaves, the truck stays with me.
I want you to tell me there's no issue that your son paid for half the truck.
No, there was no issue. We never said that I was going to pay half.
Listen to me. Men have to use their ears. You have to let women finish before you pounce in. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm. Judge Judy continues.
Back for the truck.
He said he was working all these overtime hours and you're not having taxes taken out. Plus, I know he did a side job for $500.
What does that have to do with you?
And later today.
When did you pay her the rest?
Probably a week later.
That would be a week later. You went back and took out another $4,000.
No, I'd actually had a transaction from another...
I don't believe you, unless you're going to be able to document that, so you're full of baloney.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Donald Spoosta says his son, Sean Spoosta, borrowed money for a truck and never finished paying him back.
Okay, I said there's no question because you acknowledged that he paid you partially for the truck.
While he was staying there, yes.
There's no question that he paid you partially
no question.
for
He
the
paid
truck.
me part of it, yes.
How much did he pay?
He paid $750.
So he paid for half.
No, he didn't pay for half.
Yes, the truck was $1,500. $750 was half. And then what happened when he made the last payment, which would have brought it to $750? What happened?
I kicked him out at one point because he was lying to me.
When did he make the last payment?
The last payment he made was on 7/28.
And when did he leave your residence?
I told him to get out and leave the truck 3rd.
Did you ever have an agreement with him that he would pay just for half and you would pay for half of the truck?
No, not at all.
So you were advancing him the money and he was living with you rent-free and working?
Yes, I want him to save his money to move out.
On what date did he move in with you?
He moved in with me basically the day we bought the truck, the 19th of June.
So between June 19th and July 28th, he paid you $750?
Yes.
You work at the lumber yard?
Yes, ma'am. Well, I was, and then I found a new job, and I started working there at a construction company.
Are you still at that job?
No, not right at the moment, unfortunately.
Why?
Me and my boss, we finished our projects we were working on, and I just started a new job at another construction company. So
when did you start the new job?
About a week and a half ago.
You still have the truck?
No, ma'am.
What happened?
It broke. The transmission blew up on it, and then the clutch burned up, and it was not worth salvaging the vehicle for how much it was going to cost to fix it.
Did you tell your father that that happened to the truck?
No, I have not, because I have not talked to him since the day I got kicked out.
Who are you living with now?
Right now, I'm just kind of living with some friends at the moment.
Did you know that the truck broke down?
No, I hadn't talked with him since he moved out. He wouldn't return my call.
Did you call him?
I called him and I texted him.
And he was angry and didn't return your call?
No, he did not return my call.
Where do you think he's going to get the money to pay you back for the truck?
Well, now that he was working, and he said he was working all these overtime hours every Saturday, and if you're getting paid $15 an hour and you're not having taxes taken out, that's $600 a week plus working overtime, and every night supposedly working overtime, because when he did come back, it wasn't until
late. He
late.
paid you $750 in a month.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty decent.
He did a side job for $500.
What does that have to do with you?
Nothing.
Right.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
are you full of baloney, or are you going to be able to document the fact that you got the other $4,000 in cash someplace a week later?
I know, and it's if...
No, I don't want to hear yabba dabba do.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Donald Spooster says his son, Sean Spooster, borrowed money for a truck and never finished paying him back.
Okay, he paid you back $750 in a month. That's pretty reasonable.
I was, yes, while he was staying with me, correct.
My problem with you, sir, is that I don't believe that you had an agreement with your father that he was going to pay for half.
Okay.
And you were going to pay for half. It's my job to determine the demeanor and credibility of a witness.
Of course.
And when you said that to me, it didn't have the ring of truth to pay your father back for the entire truck. And the fact that he got annoyed with you because you're a 34-year-old man who stayed out all weekend, he was annoyed and he kicked you out. That's what he says.
Yes.
Happened in the papers. I'm sorry for you that the truck broke down, but I believe that you did have an agreement with your father to pay him back for the truck. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $750. We're finished.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I just think he's upset that we had an argument and I got kicked out.
Well, he's your son, and you want to do whatever you can to try to help.
Hopefully we can move on from here.
Time to wash my hands of it. I've tried to help him so many times. Now it's time to just move on, and he can go his way.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Burbank versus Smithy, step forward.
Brandy Burbank is suing Larry Smithy for the unpaid balance on a horse trailer.
Miss Burbank, you were selling a horse trailer.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you advertise it?
Yes, Your Honor.
On where?
On Marketplace, on Facebook.
You were selling the trailer for how much?
$9,000.
You had bought it for how much?
$10,000.
And Mr. Smithy answered the ad, and according to you, sir, you came on to an agreement on the price. You picked up the trailer. You gave a deposit to Miss Burbank. She wouldn't give you the title until you paid the full amount. That's what I read. You don't specify the amount. Are you looking confused?
Well, no, we settled on an agreement for $8,000. She did advertise it for $9,000.
Right.
Cash.
And you took the cash from where?
My bank account.
On what date?
I'm going to say it. I don't even, yeah, I do.
I'm going to say. Don't tell me I'm going to say. You were coming to court today, so you should have exactly what day you took the cash from your account.
It was November of 2017, or, yeah.
On the same day you took out how much?
$4,000.
So you gave her $4,000?
Yes, sir.
Great. And when did you pay her the rest?
Probably a week later.
Great. That would be a week later. You went back and took out another $4,000.
No, I'd actually had a transaction from another.
I don't believe you, unless you're going to be able to document that, so you're full of baloney.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay, so now what is it? Are you full of baloney, Or are you going to be able to document the fact that you got the other $4,000 in cash someplace a week later?
I know, and it's if...
No, I don't want to hear yabba dabba do. I want to hear, am I full of baloney, or I owe her $4,000, or give me some time and I'll be able to give you the paperwork on the transaction.
I could definitely provide a withdrawal receipt.
For the $4,000 that you took out?
Both times, well, yeah.
Both times. I'm old, but I'm not addled. You paid her $4,000 as a deposit.
Yes, ma'am.
It's the $4,000 that's at issue in this case. Now, three things happen. Either you're full of baloney in the answer you just gave me, that you had another transaction, and that was so you had $4,000 in cash the next week, or you can show me that you pulled another $4,000 from the bank, or you owe her $4,000. Which is it?
I can't provide you with the receipt on the transaction.
Then you owe her $4,000. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done. Thank you very much.
Judge, step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I'd got a phone call from her soon-to-be ex-husband saying that the trailer was his.
I am happy that she is making him accountable for what he owes me.
There's money that's unaccounted for in a divorce.
Definitely not give him the title prior to me getting all my money.
She thought it was an invitation to wed her.
I saw that the door was open.
Big mistake.
I want you to tell me how you got bit by his dog.
The dogs came, and I'm standing right in the middle, right there in the path of them, and they started to attack me.
You went to the hospital. What happened to you?
I was in deep shock to her.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Blanche Dawson and her daughter-in-law, Karen DeMar, are suing their former tax preparer, Tyrus Jones Sr., for medical costs and pain and suffering due to a dog attack.
Order. All rise. It's case number 216 on the calendar in the matter of DeMar Dawson versus Jones.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
What is your first name?
Karen.
And your Miss Dawson?
I'm Miss Dawson.
This is your
daughter-in-law.
Mr. Marr, was it your taxes that the defendant was doing?
In the beginning, yes.
Was he also doing your taxes?
Yes.
How long have you been a tax preparer?
I've been assisting people with taxes for well over 20 years.
Is that what you do as a full-time job?
No, I work for the federal government.
In what capacity?
I'm a health IT specialist.
What particular training do you have in tax preparation?
I just started doing taxes at an early age.
So you have none? You have no formal training in
No
tax?
formal training.
In tax
That's
preparation?
correct.
You were referred to him?
Yes, I was.
By whom?
Wallace. He's a friend of mine.
When did you see him? And
After.
you saw him after, so you went at the same time?
We did go at the same time.
Okay,
yes.
so you saw March 10th and gave him the paperwork. How much did you charge each one to prepare their taxes?
Well, I charged Mr. DeMar $200.
200?
Yes, ma'am.
And Miss Dawson?
She didn't pay anything. I was going to do hers for free.
Why?
Because initially I was going to charge her $200. However, I wasn't able to complete the taxes when I had told Mr. Marr that the taxes will be completed by April. But she kept persisting and calling, so I had other people that I was assisting them with. So I was going to, actually the date that I first saw them was March the 15th, not the 10th.
Mr. Jones, I assume that you're not handling anybody's taxes that are complicated since you have no training. I assume it's as simple as people who don't know how to fill out the forms themselves. You do it, and they're simplistic. There's nothing complicated about their tax return. So if you saw them on March 15th, one you charged $200.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And paid $200. And the other you charged nothing because you didn't do their taxes.
That's correct.
You did Mr. Marr's taxes.
I was doing them. I hadn't completed them. I told her on the 30th of March that I would have them complete the following day, which was March the 31st.
Yes.
And?
And this is when the occurrence happened with the dogs.
On what date?
March the 31st.
So you said you'd have them by what we're here for. And your dog, one of your dogs, bit who?
Bit me.
Bit you. And you're suing for being bitten by the dog? You went to the hospital?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And what do you want?
I want the hospital bills that was done for me.
What happened to you?
Shocked. I was in deep shock to see those dogs jumped on my mother-in-law and mauling at her.
So the hospital admitted me as well.
I want you to tell me how you got bit by his dog.
Karen and I, or Mr. Marr and I, went to Mr. Jones's house because he had sent her a text that the taxes would be ready on the 31st.
On the 31st. So you went.
So we were together. We were in the area. It was on a late Saturday evening.
On the 31st?
On the 31st.
What time?
I would say approximately 7.
7 p.m.
Yes.
Okay. So you went to the house to pick up your taxes.
Right. Well,
what time was it?
It was at least 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
It was in the afternoon.
It was
so
in the
it was
afternoon.
5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Yes,
Taxes
ma'am.
should have been ready. That's after business hours. So it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So you went there at 5 o'clock to pick up your taxes, which was supposed to be ready. And?
We called. We saw that the door, the inner door.
Not we saw. You.
Oh, I saw that the inner door was open. So we sat in the car for a while. Mr. Marr called Jones to let them know that we were outside. But there was no answer. I think the voicemail picked up. So we sat there.
Just a second. You were home?
Yes, I was upstairs.
Just a second.
Yes.
So she didn't answer the phone. So you're
No,
sitting
well,
outside
no one answered,
in your
yes.
car, and this is your wife?
Yes, ma'am.
Your wife didn't answer the phone. You weren't home?
I was home.
And you didn't answer the phone?
No, I did not.
So it went directly to voicemail?
It did.
So after we didn't get a response from the voicemail, we decided, well, I said, well, the door...
No, don't, not we decided.
I'm sorry.
Just
I saw that the door was open,
the inside door was open.
And I could see through the house.
Whether you could see through the house or not. You were
So
there
we
getting
said,
your taxes, and they were ignoring the phone call.
No.
No. That was
So don't... Okay. When I ask you something, then you'll answer me.
Okay.
Right now, I have that you heard the phone, you didn't answer it, and you were home.
It was his cell phone.
My cell phone. The phone wasn't on.
Who has a cell phone?
That would have been a problem for you if you run a business.
Yes.
That would have been a problem for you if your phone wasn't on, and if that's the only number they have for you. Yes. So you went in and you tried, and you went in and the dog bit you. You opened the door and the dog came out.
Well, actually, I didn't open the door. We were standing step to get up one to knock on the door. So as we did, I was standing right there in front of the door. Mr. Marr was to my left. The dogs came, and I'm standing right in the middle, right there in the path of them, and they started to attack me.
What kind
Mr.
of
Marr
dogs?
was...
What kind of dogs?
They were boxers.
Where were you bitten?
I was bitten on my hand, my right breast, and my right side of my stomach.
You have a medical report for me?
I have them from...
I would like to see a medical report.
Yes.
Okay, yes, I do. All of this, okay. And I have... The pictures are in there also.
Listen, you had a dog bite on your left hand. That's what you had.
Yes, and...
That's what you had. That's what the doctors found when you went there.
Yes.
Weeks later, you complained about being bitten also on the breast. There's nothing in this. There's nothing in this initial report where the doctor examined you on an emergency basis where you were bitten on the breast.
I understand that, Your Honor.
Good.
But I did not regress until after I had gotten home. I felt something.
Well, then you show me, just a second, then you show me something between March 31st and April 18th, which is the first note that is here when you went for something with a different doctor.
No, I'm sorry.
Just a second. Show me that you reported it to the emergency room.
Look on the report that says April 3rd. That was a follow-up to my doctor where I had told him I did not realize that I had been bitten on my breast, so therefore it wasn't mentioned in the emergency room. But April 3rd.
No.
No.
No, sorry. No. April 18th is the first time it says something about breast. You show me something April 3rd that says something about your breast on a follow-up. Show me.
You ready?
Put your hand down. I don't need you. I'm not minimizing being attacked and being bitten. Being bitten, it wasn't a terrible bite, but being bitten by two dogs and frightened by them, I see something that said April 3rd that you said dog bites, hand bites, and then on April 18th was the first time I see a note about you saying anything about a breast. I may be wrong. find something that said April 3rd.
Well, I'm sorry, but I had not mentioned that in the emergency room because I did not
I'm not talking
realize.
about the emergency in the 31st and April 18th.
You have anything?
I have the April 3rd.
No, well, show me. I want to see.
On April 3rd.
I would like to see you saying anything about being bitten by your breast on April 3rd.
No, I guess not. I guess not. But I was.
Okay, well, we don't have it.
Show me.
I don't have it because I had not. I only mentioned the dog bites, but he just indicated that it was on my hand, which was on April 3rd.
But that's
the
correct.
18th, right.
That's correct. 3 weeks later, you complained that it was on your breast. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. And I'm not minimizing I'm not minimizing the fact that. Okay, fine. May I see it, please?
May I add something?
Just a second. No.
Okay.
Do you have Medicare?
Yes, I do.
Is what you're telling me none of these expenses was covered by your Medicare?
Your Honor, when...
Just to answer my question, is what you're telling me...
I do have Medicare.
Yes.
And I had asked the hospital to send the particular bill that was in the emergency room to Mr. Jones.
Oh, well, that's your problem. So the answer is...
Yes.
The answer is you have Medicare, and you said to the hospital, you want to use my Medicare, send him the bill. And the hospital did... Let me tell you something. I know hospitals. I know hospitals. You can't say to a hospital when you go into an emergency room, I want to bill somebody else. There is not a hospital in this country that would accept that kind of a statement. I don't want to use my Medicare. I'm not giving you my Medicare card for this emergency visit. I want you to bill Mr. Jones. I haven't called Mr. Jones. You can call Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones doesn't say he's going to pay the bill. That's ridiculous.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I want you to look at me and tell me what you were doing on March 31st at 5 o'clock.
I was in my office watching television.
You were supposed to have her taxes ready.
Absolutely.
What were you doing watching television?
And later today...
This is my question, sir. I've had a lot of houses. Bird has had a lot of houses. Did you ever have a concrete grinder in your backyard?
No.
Me neither.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Blanche Dawson and daughter-in-law Karen DeMar claim 2 dogs owned by their former tax preparer, Tyrus Jones Sr., attacked Blanche during a visit to his home.
Now, you're entitled to go to someone's house to pick up your taxes and not be attacked by his dog. You're not. That's your problem. You have to accept responsibility for the fact that your dog bit this lady, even on the hand, and you should have answered the door. You should have answered your phone. Did you have her taxes ready?
Judge Judy.
Just tell me whether you had her taxes ready on March 31st.
The answer is no.
Fine. And you were supposed to have her taxes ready on March 31st.
I didn't give her a time.
You were supposed to have...
She came unannounced, Judge Judy.
That doesn't matter. That's where you conduct your business. You, in effect, invite the public to your home because you conduct your business there. You left your inner door open, which is how the dogs got out.
The dogs didn't get out because of the door was open. Yeah. I have evidence.
Love to see it.
Yes. Okay, so I have a picture of my front door closed. I have a picture of the door open with the screen closed. There is no step to my... The only step is to step up into my house.
Which is
what are you telling me?
What I'm saying is...
She came in.
She came in the house.
And said hello.
She said hello. She stepped in the house, opened my door.
That is
not... And then the dog...
That is not correct.
She's been in my house 3 times. The first time announced, she came. Okay, when I acknowledged that she was coming, I put the dogs up in the cage. When someone comes to our house, we put our dogs up in the cage. The second time she came on the 24th of March, when my wife looked out the door and saw them, my wife took the dogs and put them up in the cage. That's our practice. We have people come to our... I have it chronologically so I can show you. The dogs in the outside of the house and the cage in the living room where we put the dogs.
So you put the dogs in the cage and...
And then we allow people to come in. On the 3rd time, on March the 30th...
I want you to tell me what you were doing at 5 o'clock in the afternoon at your house on March 31st. I would like you to tell me what Look, I want you to look at me and tell me what you were doing on March 31st at 5 o'clock in the late afternoon, early evening, you and your wife.
My wife was upstairs. I was in my office watching television.
What were you doing watching television?
Just watching it.
You were
It was a
supposed to
sporting
have her
event.
taxes ready on March 31st.
Absolutely.
What were you doing watching television?
You're right. I was supposed to have her tax them, but I didn't tell her a time. They were going to be done.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,500. That's for both of you. We're done.
Thank you, Judge.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
They walked into my house knowing that I have dogs,
Their paws pushed open the door.
came unannounced, and my dogs attacked.
I was in shock.
I just think they are out to get money.
I will never recommend anybody to do taxes with that gentleman.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter.
Rayon Bradley is suing Daquan Smith for hospital bills and lost wages after he lost a digit on his finger while helping Daquan move equipment.
Mr. Smith, what kind of company do you have?
It's a construction company.
What's the name of it?
S&J.
How long have you had it?
8 years.
How many employees do you have?
Approximately 4 full-time employees, and then I have about 5 or 6 employees that I part-time.
Do you have workman's compensation for your 4 full-time employees?
Yes.
And your part-time employees?
Yes, I have workers' comp and general liability insurance for my company.
Mr. Bradley was injured while doing a job with you.
Well, Judge, we weren't working. We were at my house, and I had a machine that I was selling, and I have a picture of the machine. I'm sorry.
When you say you weren't working, what kind of piece of equipment was it, Mr. Smith?
Concrete grinder.
This is my question, sir. I've had a lot of houses. Bird has had a lot of houses. Did you ever have a concrete grinder in your backyard?
No.
Me neither.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
We weren't working. We were simply putting a machine on the pallet.
It's either your home or your business. If it's your home, it's your homeowner's insurance. If it's your business, it's workman's comp.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Dayon Bradley says Daquan Smith owes for hospital bills and lost wages after he lost a digit on his finger while helping him move a piece of equipment.
So tell me what you were doing with the concrete grinder in your backyard. Stop playing with papers, Mr. Bradley.
I was set to ship the machine to Alabama that day, and UPS was coming to pick it up.
You were shipping the machine to Alabama.
Yes.
What were you shipping it to Alabama
I was selling it, and I had to ship it.
Just a second. What does a concrete grinder do?
It polishes concrete floors. Like if you go at Home Depot or a car dealership and you see the high polish on the concrete,
Yes.
this machine does it.
Yes. What was it doing in your backyard?
Oh, it was in my garage, and I brought it home.
Or in your garage?
Because
What
I had
was
to ship
doing?
it. That's where I was shipping it from.
You brought it home from where?
From where I usually keep it in the truck inside of the lot
In
where I
your
park the truck.
business?
Yes.
When Mr. Bradley had this accident and lost a digit of his finger, that was at your house, moving this piece of equipment that is a piece of construction equipment that you use in business, but you were selling it, correct?
Yes. Yes.
And this was a day during the week or on the weekend? Week?
Yes, I was working for him that day.
How many days a week do you work for Mr. Smith?
3 to 5 days,
And what do you paid a day?
$15 an hour.
Now, this accident happened at your house. Is it a house that you own?
Yes.
Do you have homeowner's insurance?
Yes.
After this accident happened in your house that you say was not business related, did you report it to your homeowner's insurance?
No.
Why not?
Because it's like, Yana, we were friends. Even though he does work for me at times, we were lifting something to put it on. And he did the count, like we're counting, we're lifting
On
it.
what date did this happen, sir?
November 28th.
10 months ago? Where have you been since, sir? Did you see a lawyer?
Yes, I saw.
Just a second.
Yes, I did see a lawyer.
And what happened with the lawyer?
They looked at his name and they couldn't find it nowhere in the state of New Jersey to see if he had like any business or any insurance
He
or
has
any.
insurance. Is that right?
Yes.
What was your insurance carrier?
State Farm.
In what name?
It's in my wife's name. Her name is Tony.
I'm going to get you all the information, sir. Then I'm going to dismiss your case without prejudice. You can go get another lawyer and sue him for a lot more than you're going to get here.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Want justice? Go to Judge and follow us on Twitter.
Now, I strongly advise you to notify your homeowner's insurance, your business insurance. This is a business problem, do you understand? And he wasn't being your friend. You were paying him $15 an hour. So get it together, because he's going to sue you. Not here. Now, do you understand?
Yes.
Get a lawyer. Now you know why they couldn't find anything. Tony, that's your wife's name?
Yes.
And he's going to turn over his tax ID number for his business. Will that be helpful to a lawyer?
I hope so. I'm not a lawyer.
Good. I hope it'll be helpful to a lawyer. What?
Your Honor, we weren't working. We were simply putting a machine on the pallet.
It's either your home or your business. If it's your home, it's your homeowner's insurance. If it's your business, it's workman's comp, because you're paying by the hour. We're done here. Do you understand?
Yes.
Perfect.
Excuse me, step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy,